Uh, yeah, whenever you're in. Hello and welcome to this edition of Gen, coming to you from twitch.tv/VGBootCamp. I am Stu, the announcer, taking you on through the night here in the States and through the morning, I guess, over in Europe. And as we go through this afternoon's tournament, afternoon, of course, in Japan, a global affair, as is expected to be, just before KGP kicks off. We got Jen coming at us with some really high quality action, including two of the best representatives of their respective characters, Yuzu and Tody Goody. I mean, Yuzu right there. You just saw the catch with the F smash up on the with the banjo. It's going to take us to two stocks apiece, with Tody Goody being up a game. I did see a little bit of this, and yeah, it looked like I mean, it's just Banjo doing exactly what Banjo does. And even though you like Rosalina going through the air, well, Banjo likes sniping you out of it, and is a two stock to one advantage right now for Tody Goody. Yuzu's still pressing buttons in Tody Goody's face, and of course, you know, when it's a character that is as defensively apt as Banjo, certainly you're going to take the counterpunching quite a bit when Rosalina likes to press the advantage just a little bit. Of course, a lot easier to do that when you have a Luma on your side. The egg's going to pop Yuzu up, and a bigger hit could well take Yuzu out. The recovery is online, however. And Tody Goody not in a position to take advantage of it. No real need to at this point. In triple digits on the second stock, no need to risk it for the biscuit. You're doing just fine on your own in the forward air. Going to catch Yuzu. Detonation putting Tody Goody off stage, and Yuzu looking for anything, sort of a swinging at air. But third time's the charm, and the up air is going to connect to take it to one stock apiece. However, Yuzu at a significant disadvantage. Tody Goody got a hit out of the combo. Separating the Luma. Ran out of hit points and going to get a forward throw. Yuzu is going to have to take this slow and steady. You really don't want to be engaging Banjo all that much, especially when those projectiles become so active so quickly. Up smash is not going to do it. Any touch will take the stock. However, Yuzu making it happen just a little bit at 79%. You really cannot afford a mistake. However, Yuzu gets grabbed and into the corner. It was perhaps survivable, but Yuzu is going to give up the ghost after quite a struggle, and a thumbs up from Tody Goody and Banjo alike. That's going to put Tody Goody at a 2-0 lead. Representative of Area 310, a very accomplished team over on the well, I was about to say other side of the world for me, and I suppose for those of us who might be watching the English stream. I don't know, who am I to generalize? We are going to go to we'll say it is very much that part of the world in Japan. Gonna have to just get that language right before I head on over, whenever that may be. Who knows? Game number 3, going to Town and City. Eggs tacking on to Yuzu has been very adept with the projectile play. Oftentimes, you do like to see these defensively minded characters using the projectiles to sort of dictate where you don't want these jumpy, floaty characters to go, just as a means to control their aerial movement. Tody Goody has been more than content to just hit the target out of the sky, play a little bit of duck hunt, as it were. The game, not the character. Egg gets absorbed and then thrown back. The big explosive egg. I really could just say grenade. Grenade. Excuse me. Pretty sure it's pronounced grenade, and I'm pretty sure that's pronounced a 1-stock lead for Tody Goody. Big ol' hit off of the stage. Town and City, of course, a much larger stage than it was in the prior iteration of this game, but still, you're able to get your KOs off of the top, and you're generally better off for it. only have so many of those side Bs in stock. I believe you only have one left on this one, and that is going to dictate how Tody Goody recovers, especially at 161%, just bopping the Luma like a beach ball. And it is going to be the was that a dash attack that wound up doing it? I looked away for just a second, and goodness me, Yuzu getting off the floor and on the board. However, is the back air piling on just a little bit more for Tody Goody. Shield pressure. Anything you can do to break the Luma out of the offensive rhythm. Rosalina, more accurately, I suppose. Missing on the forward air, however. Good whiff punish there from Yuzu. And there's the forward air finally connecting, and you're seeing it just a little bit of target practice on the Luma. Anything you can do to get it off the board. See now the Nair connecting, and again, very efficient offense. Not content to just play the sort of defensive game that you want to do. Yuzu is moving right into the clutches of Tody Goody, and this bear is more than happy to chow down. And that is going to be a full stock lead now, almost for Tody Goody. Was for just a while there until Yuzu finally decided to start counterpunching a little bit. We're seeing a little bit more utilization of the throws. Not a foregone conclusion by any means. However, these stray hits, especially from Banjo, they do pack a punch. It's going to be beautiful. Get the kill off of the side, and all of a sudden it's a one-stock game. Goody Goody now with the grab. Forward throw. Anything you can do to displace Rosalina. Again, character that likes to be in the air, but really only on her terms. It's been jumping into these hitboxes, but Tody Goody was looking to end it right then and there. Looking, I think, for the back air off of the miscalculated recovery. Up tilt just to get Tody Goody off kilter just a little bit. Looking for, oh wow, Yuzu was going up real high for that one. I don't know about that one, Chief, but dash attack. Yet again, the grabs, again, anything you can do to get Tody Goody out of shield and keep on moving. However, you know what? Hey, attacks get you out of shield too, and that back air is indeed going to seal the deal for Tody Goody, the standard bearer for Banjo, and I do mean bear. We'll work on the puns. I can assure you that. What we can absolutely assure you is that you are getting a quite the quality tournament here at Gen 4.0, coming to you from Shinagawa in Tokyo this afternoon, this Saturday, April 25th. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I had to check my calendar. Please excuse me, but yeah, no, Stu the announcer rocking out with you here. Twitch.tv/VGBootCamp, your home for some of the best Smash that the world has to offer, both in the States and indeed abroad. Our producer this evening is, as always, the wonderful Watch. Thank you so much for that. Watch. Arigatou gozaimasu. I am working on my Japanese ever so slightly. It's really not that good, so sumimasen if I make a mistake. I will say that I can by the time I get over there, it will not be improved much at all. So I'll just get my apologies in now. But what we will not apologize for is the quality of this bracket. As Watch pulls it up, the number one seed overall, Ken, making their way over through it, is taking on Matsunabe in top 48 action. Growth and Like This is online right now. Yuzu and Tody Goody, as we just saw. Yuzu, again, a very strong contender in this bracket. Just very strange to see to see that quality of a matchup in top 48. But then again, if you're familiar with Japan, maybe not as far-fetched as you might think. And as we work our way down, Yeah, Tarek coming through from Germany, making it to this point in the bracket. Yaura as well, and Marcos doing quite well to get into winner's side. A very interesting winner's side. And as we go to the losers, we see a few other familiar names, including Akakikusu, who is in top 48 losers side, has moved on through the through losers round one in this top 48 bracket, but still all the way down in losers at this early juncture. Going forward, we also see Naitoru in this side of the bracket, as well as individuals like Taikei, who Taikei being out already at the hands of Harupoyo. That is a little bit of an upset. T being here as well, Abadango, and that is an unfortunate end for Abadango. It looked like that's goodness. That is something. And Umeki being down here as well. Certainly, stranger things have happened in brackets, but when you have the quality that you have over in the land of the rising sun, certainly you are going to have the upsets that go along with that as well. As I'm sure my two Japanese colleagues sitting to this side of me are expounding upon right now. Hopefully, I'm doing a decent enough job, gentlemen, for in at least in the English language, explaining exactly what is going on here. I can only say for sure I'm looking at them as if they can even see me, which I don't even know why I'm bothering, but what can you say? When you have a fourth wall, sometimes you're all too tempted to break it. I'm just trying to, it's almost like a miming motion. Am I pushing up against it? Am I just no? Okay. It is very late here, if you can't tell. What I what I will say, top 48 thus far. I mean, eventful if nothing else. We are waiting on the results of a couple of matches. I can say that Ken has moved into top. I believe this would be a top 16. Yes, winners quarterfinal. Yeah, top 16. So Ken making his way through the bracket as we do expect him to do. Honestly, when you have a meta that is developed like Japan has, I mean, it's always just reacting and making sure that you have the options with which to act. And turns out whether it's the eastern side of the world or the western, Sonic is quite strong, and certainly there are Sonics on this half of the earth that could tell you all about that. Most notably, well, Sonics, I suppose. And yeah, Ken is on the upper side of the bracket, and thus you know the vibes. That man is going to be counterpunching all the way to well, wherever Ken winds up in the bracket, and I suppose that's what we're here for. Yeah, a couple of people already over in Japan. I do kind of wonder about the spread of representation in this bracket, simply because there are a couple names that stick out. Most notably Tarek, I suppose, on winner's side, the Greninja extraordinaire, but Natoru, the Pichu from France, being in losers. And again, hey, there's a lot to adjust to when it comes to tournaments like this. And when you're getting into the grand scheme of things, it's a lot to account for, especially when you are jet lagged and trying to get everything. You're trying to find your bearings. You're looking for the train station, and you simply cannot find it. There's a lot of characters that you are simply not familiar with. Oh, and here we go. Okay, some Korean brawler action. Strangely enough, I feel like I'm back in Jersey. Shout out Yeast. On the Pokemon Stadium 2, the pin with the reversal, the brawler trying to get cheeky with the recovery, but good tool for catching it. It is something that has a bit of a shelf life. However, me brawler not always the most well equipped to deal with it. So this is Renoha, I believe, is how you pronounce that, versus Daigoro. Is that it? I hope that is Daigoro. Okay, that's right. Yeah. You don't go as hard on the U at the end. Yeah, Daigoro of course, the Korin and Minoha. Minoha, that's it. Okay. Yeah, no. We're learning. We're learning. Some of us studied the katakana ahead of time, and some of us didn't. Two stocks apiece now, either way in the recovery. The smash attack, well read by Minoha. Looking for anything off of the stage, but just letting Korin get off into the corner and try to make his way back. Nothing wrong with that. You build up your damage on the stage. You generally don't want to be playing with it in the air. And Renoha certainly taking that lesson to heart. Spot dodge, just the anticipation there. Again, the range of Korin is something that you do not want to underestimate by any stretch. The dash attack miscalculated and is going to be punished hard for it. Daigoro. Oh, looking for the pin, but did not find it. And Renoha is going to make him pay. Daigoro is going to cede the stock courtesy of the back air. And we are at a 2 stock to 1. Disadvantage here. However, Daigoro is going to look for it. Oh, parried on the pin. When your offense gets predictable, there really is no optimization, is there? And now let's see. Daigoro looking for any form of offense at this point, and just a way to get on the board. Now, Renoha is stingy as ever and just not going away. 162 and surviving pretty much straight up attack on the shortest ceiling in the competitive rule set on Pokemon Stadium 2. And finally, Renoha gives up the ghost at a very high percentage. Not as much extra credit as Renoha would have liked, I would imagine. However, getting plenty of licks in off of the Angel platform, you get a little bit of bravery up in your chest, and all of a sudden, anything is possible. Putting the gloves on, strapping in, but getting grabbed. And it is a dangerous position to be in when you have that sort of range with Korin and then can supplement it with the grapples. It is a character that makes you question your offensive tact very quickly if you are not careful in the grab. Down throw not quite going to do the job at 86%, but again, you are evening this thing right back up, and indeed an ever so slight lead now for Daigoro. Looking for the kill shot here. Anything that you can do if you are Renoha is going to strike fear into Daigoro, and indeed the suplex onto the platform, not going to get the knockback that you need for the kill, but the pin in the corner, not quite going to do it either. Sending him the wrong way. Had to go to the far side. It was indeed enough to warrant some survival DI, but not enough to get the kill. But the back air, that is indeed going to do it. Me Brawler, little lacking in range, but certainly not in power. And Renoha is going to take game number 1. Me Brawler that has shown quite a bit of promise, and I believe one of the top 100 players in Japan. Certainly, that performance would lead you to believe as such. But is looking for that true breakout performance. I mean, we did see at Delta a 25th place finish, doing pretty good against the likes of individuals like Shirayuki, the infamous Inkling over there, beating them by a score of 3-0, no less. Really only taken down by Raru in winner's side, and actually a Palutena with which I was quite unfamiliar. Went on almost a Cinderella run, the 167th seed, but did quite well, outperformed the seed at Delta, and is now getting the licks in winners round 1 against Daigoro. And as we see here, looking for just a little more on the offensive side of things, is picking up very quickly is becoming a punch in the face contest, and you would think, just in terms of raw power, you would favor me Brawler. However, never underestimate the range of one like Daigoro, especially with that sword, the name of which honestly escapes me. I will just have to apologize for that. Get the 3 stocks to 2 now, and Daigoro, just outside of the top 100 in the world this Korin. But again, certainly inspired by some Korins from around the world, I would imagine that a lot of people were inspired by the play of Cosmos in the Smash 4. Certainly, an individual like Shattuck, who shares the state that now houses me, Texas. The back air is going to indeed take care of Daigoro. As reverent as you might be for a character specialist of this quality, just not going to do it. And Daigoro, a former Sumabato champion, in fact, taking home first place in the 41st edition of said tournament. And Renoha is showing absolutely no respect for that at all, getting in the face of Daigoro and saying, you know what, what you did in the past does not matter. And well, perhaps that's the bone that they will have to pick with me instead. Seeing Daigoro now just trying to establish the range, the nairs of Daigoro, but the uppercuts hit just a little bit harder and with a little more intent. Renoha is going to take game number 2 and do some with considerable alacrity. My goodness, that was a speed run of that third stock. Daigoro looking for an answer, trying to ward away Renoha, and I mean, simply did not miss on any of those shots. Renoha, the fists, they fly straight and they fly true, and they found the mark. And indeed, Daigoro found the blast zone pretty quickly, and that's what that short ceiling of Pokemon Stadium 2 will do for you if you are a character that. What's up? Oh, I was that the I wasn't sure if that was the producer talking to me or no. It's all good. You know what? That is all well and good. I will simply continue talking to the audience. And as we go right back to Pokemon Stadium 2 for this third installment, Daigoro looking to get on the board, but Renoha, with all the confidence in the world, a couple of parries, and even if I get hit around with that sword, I know that I can make up the difference. So says this me brawler extraordinaire. It's a character that has found an interesting place in this meta as of recent. I would say a very notable me brawler from back in my home region in tri-state, Yeast, of course, the absolute Beck mode. What was it? The Beck, I believe, is one of the nicknames. Beast mode for sure, but Yeast mode, I should say. But yeah, either way, very proud representative of both. I'd say, let's say Jersey and Uzbekistan. Why not? Shout out Uzbekistan. See you at the World Cup, y'all. Barinoha, yeah, just a good character rep. Although, down to Daigoro, who seems to have found a rhythm in this match, just utilizing that range, and certainly, best friend seems to be the back air, as it tends to be. You can land with it just a little bit safer, I think, with than you can with the other moves in Corrin's move set. Still not great. Waiting out the counter and hitting him with the up smash is me brawler. Well done, and at 98%, you are taking that first stock. You certainly want to see just a little bit more done if you're Renoha. And that is not going to happen. Daigoro simply having none of it. You think that Daigoro might have found a rhythm in this one. Sort of like a batter who gets lit up early in the innings and finds his way through for the rest of the game. That is certainly a thing that we have seen. If you're a follower of Major League Baseball, with some of the Well, some of the recent developments in American pitching, Paul Skeens being most notable among them. Oh, missing on the uppercut. Maybe getting a little desperate here is Renoha. And I don't think you need to be. Did quite well as a counterpuncher. You don't really need to take the offense into your own hands. You can just kind of let it come to you. Certainly Daigoro, with the range that character has, realizes that, and the errant recovery is going to send Daigoro from off the floor and on the board. And we are guaranteed a game 4 in this round of the proceedings. Winner of this one is going to face off against Tody Goody, the banjo man that we saw in the last set. Moving on against Yuzu by a score of 3-0, and well, we do have a couple of qualificants for the next round. I will give one bracket update in this. Oh, actually, you know what? Actually, I won't. As we go to game number 4, I think I said actually 3 times in the past 2 seconds. That's amazing. And the drops down with the up air. That's a classic from Korin. The parries, Daigoro finding the rhythm of Renoha just a little bit more consistently now. I am liking the just a little bit of confidence, and it's earned confidence this time in this game number 4. Certainly don't want it to become cockiness. It seems to be how Renoha found his way into trouble over these past couple of times. Tried to get cute with the recovery, the pin again going the opposite way. We saw that a little bit of a callback from game number 1 off of the recovery. It was almost a kill in that match. It is this time. However, we saw that up B kill quite a few times as well, and that is going to be a 2 stock game here for game number 4. You know what I mean? Really, that second game aside, this has been quite the hotly contested affair. It has been pretty back and forth. None of the competitors seem to be shying away from throwing out offensive maneuvers relatively freely. Obviously pretty smart. And Renoha saw him doing quite well to avoid the pins of Daigoro. As I feel like I just spoke that into existence. Back air catching the jump and beautifully done at that. Daigoro at 42% has Renoha down to their last stock. It's Renoha now. Nair gets the trade. But you're just not finding these big hits. You don't have that same menace as you did in the first 2 games, and now you have to reestablish it. Sometimes you just got to pester your way back into a position of authority. However, the down air catching you, and that's the thing. You are very afraid of landing on Korin. Korin is not nearly as afraid of landing on you. Kind of have to account for a button upon landing at this point. I would think, especially as a sortie, that would be quite easily punishable. If you are a me brawler, you're able to dash up and connect with something for heavy damage. If nothing else, threaten at least the stock loss. But looking at the spot dodge, Renoha, I think the smart move here by Renoha is not committing to the button first. Absolutely, especially since you do have to move significantly more than Korin does in this particular affair. Neutral B not finding the mark. And oh my goodness, way off the top, catching the jump off of the ledge, and we are going to a game 5. Daigoro winning that one, and with authority, it should be said, a 2 stock difference. And this has been a tale of 2 sets so far. Renoha establishing the early lead, and now Daigoro doing quite well for himself. Daigoro with some pretty decent results over the past couple months, although nothing to stand out and really firmly put him in the upper tier of the Japanese scene. Certainly getting up there. You see a couple of 13th place finishes at recent Sumabatos. However, the most recent one, a 49th place finish, heavily underperformed after losing to Ayalin and Nalcha. But such is life and such is the game. Certainly something to prove, especially after a 33rd place finish last week at Delta. Losing to Maho and Kyo, if you are so inclined to know. And now this game 5. Renoha looking to be yet another thorn in the side of Daigoro, but having none of it. Because as annoying as that thorn can be, the lance of Korin, certainly with a larger reach and absolutely more effective. However, the venom contained within Renoha, you see it. Oh, and it is going to be for naught. Daigoro with the antidote. And you can just go ahead and put a pin in that one. It's 3 stocks to 2. However, Daigoro at triple digits, 1 big hit. And that could be it. However, good use of the tilts. Just you realize that Renoha has to move in, and so you are pretty free to just sort of swing where especially where you have to recover near the ledge and nearly a full stock lead. However, the back air going to put you in a position of danger. You really don't want a me brawler with wind in his sails, and I don't know, Renoha connecting and taking it to a 2 stock affair now. Looking for more here. But who's going to find it first? Again, talking about neutral being a conversation. Neither of these two are willing to cede to each other. And now one must break upon the other. In this game 5, Renoha with a definitive jump out ahead, going through games 1 and 2. However, 3 and 4 have been firmly in the favor of Daigoro, and now you see it here as well. And here we go. These bigger hits, and Renoha looking for it. Oh, fishing for it perhaps. You just got to let it come to you. Certainly a lot closer than you were prior at 13%. Daigoro definitively at kill percent. And you're going to get it there. Your patience rewarded, and as is yours, folks. Strap in. It's last game, last stock. Daigoro and Renoha. An ever so slight lead to Daigoro, who's looking to reestablish himself as the Korin of the East. Renoha, a man with something to prove, fights like it, lives like it, but can you recover like it? Your life is in danger on winner's side, and Daigoro is taking you to task at ledge. Looking for anything on the offensive maneuvers and finds the down tilt at the very least. But oh my goodness, Daigoro has gotten so much mileage off of the down air, hitting buttons all the way down, and Renoha has simply not been able to anticipate it. Tody Goody awaits the winner of this one, and it could have been Renoha at just a little bit more percentage, whereupon Daigoro catches him on the jump, and just as you did to me, so will I to you. Renoha takes it 3 games to 2. And how many times, folks, did we see Daigoro catch Renoha jumping off of the ledge? That little bit of you try to get a little cheeky, try to establish yourself offensively. Nope, I can catch that jump with my sword, and I can take you right out. That little pop, and then boom with the back air, with the wings. We saw that all throughout the first 4 games, and indeed in this very game 5. But Renoha says, hang on a second, I present to you a taste of your own medicine. I hope you enjoy it as well as your trip to loser's side. It will be Renoha finding their way to winners quarterfinals of this Gen 4.0. And we are going to continue on here from Shinagawa, Tokyo, I should say. Shinagawa. I know Gawa is river. I don't know what Shina means. I have not watched enough sumo to know that yet. But I have watched enough Smash to know that, folks, this is some quality stuff that we are seeing here today. Tody Goody and Renoha being confirmed for winners quarterfinal, I should say. Ken and the it does say like this is the tag, but I'm just gonna go ahead and refresh this so I can take this back to well, it's a Fox main. That's all we know. Like this, taking down growth. So it says. I am actually going to ask for a pronunciation check on because when I hit the auto translate, it said like this. The individual going up against Ken. What would that be? Yeah, the individual going up against Ken in winners quarterfinal. Who? Cool. Okay. Cool. All right. Interesting. That is huh, that then. Cool. I suppose. But yeah, we are going to see Tarek as well in winners quarterfinal, all the way from Germany and in through winners side. We're going to take a quick look at the loser side as well, folks. Umeki working his way through, going up against New, and we are seeing Masami and Yuja in that side of the bracket as well. The winner of that one facing off against Yaura. That was the one update that I meant to give you. Yaura going down in top 48 winners round one by a score of 3-1. An interesting development here, but again, the amount of upsets that we have seen thus far certainly cannot be understated. I mean, case in point, you look at that T going down to Gachipi by a score of 3-1, and T out in top 48. Netoru is going to move on. Reno and Akakikusu is in losers round two. Netoru potentially facing off. Oh, I'm trying to see who Netoru is playing, but it's interesting. Doesn't seem to be popping up for me. But either way, Gachipi on quite the run of form, taking down T and then Saya, and now facing off against Motsunabe. So yeah, we have ourselves a pretty good bracket here, folks. What can we say? And of course, you take a look at that winner's side. You are seeing some good stuff, and I do believe that we are going to get more from the winners bracket here. Is that correct or? Right, Ken versus Cole, and that is going to be our winners quarterfinal here. And I do believe that what is this? The yeah, Teshi and Maho, is that it? Or did I Maho? There we go. Well, here we go. Hollow Bastion, game number one. Cole versus Ken. And fun fact: when you auto translate the Cole's name, it simply says like this, which I don't know. We are going to see just how Cole keeps his cool against Ken, and that was not intentional alliteration. I just stumbled into that one. Either way, Sonic against Fox is certainly not a matchup that the average viewer would be unfamiliar with. But goodness me, can it be chaotic and certainly volatile? We're seeing just how much so here, but I mean, what can you say? It's Sonic able to move around and bait out interactions, and Fox, you do have the speed to at least pursue some of the attacks. But again, you want to talk about your understanding of microspacing. You are one of the few characters that can bait out Sonic if you really need to. but it's going to take some real mistakes on the part of Ken. And the thing about Ken, the reason why Ken is the number one seed here, doesn't tend to make those. Spin dash into back air, knows all the Sonic B&Bs. Doing quite well for himself thus far, and certainly as of late on a pretty decent run of form. From and almost a full stock lead, Cole. Well, the man is working. What can we say? And yeah, working to the extent of a 3-1 stock lead. And it's yeah, it's going at about a stock a minute, so you can't even really say that it's going slowly. In fact, by Sonic standards, goodness me. Moving on through, charging up the up smash. And you don't really see that many kills off of up air with Sonic anymore. And as someone who came up watching individuals like 6WX ply their trade, it is a little strange to see that even to this day. However, you do know that in your heart of hearts that this is a character that can do some serious damage. And just as I say, you don't see many kills with up air. So does two up airs in a row get the kill on Ko, and Ken is going to take it to a 1-0 lead. Uh, See, I kind of want to call it the 6WX special, but that's my regionalism showing. What can I say? As we go to game number 2. Ko, again, I mean, this is an individual who's done quite well for themselves in order to get here. And not exactly the easiest bracket path. However, you are going up against one of the most accomplished players on the planet in Ken. An individual who sits at number 24 in the world and has been, one of the more definitive Sonics. Does have other characters in the pocket, but we've seen the Sonic primarily throughout the past couple of the past couple of months, absolutely, but certainly the past couple of years. A former champion of Sumabato, top 4 finisher in at Super Smash Cons in the past, and I mean, yeah, runners up at multiple other tournaments. I mean, I'm pretty sure you got a Kagaribi win under your belt, but and a Delta as well. But yeah, this is someone who has traveled the world, done basically whatever you can think of, done basically anything you can think of, from Port Priority, Kagaribi, from Delta, and of course the Sumbatos that have popped up here and there. And now Ko experiencing all of that head on and face first. A small battlefield. I mean, I get it, shorten the field against Sonic, but oh man, it is still giving him plenty of runway to do things with. Really do have to harass Sonic on the ledge all you can. Fox certainly with the means to do so. Ken now with the recovery. Yeah, Ko is just trying to find the footing here, and there's only so much you can do in the face of someone like Ken. I certainly understand that, but you'd like to think that there's a chance, right? Ko, one of the top 100 players in Japan. However, you're going up against a top 25 player in the world. It is a very, very tricky proposition. Is able to take the stock though. How about the spin dash? I mean, just the spin dash, since you're pretty high up there. Again, this is Ko, who has some not all the way bad results, gotta say. In fact, has featured at this very event prior. And in a second, we are going to get Ken just sort of floating around up in the air, and is more than happy to let Ko come around and make a mistake. I mean, what can you say? You're up 2 stocks. You don't really need to do you don't really need to do a whole lot to prove yourself. But Ken coming up from all the way under the stage and delivering the back air. Okay. More than happy to deploy the hitbox. It's relatively safe as long as you can get back the stage. Ken is more than keen to do so. And now to the tune of a full stock lead. Now here we go. Up airs. Continuing on, Ken just throwing out these hitboxes again. High pressure gameplay and then back off. You can change the speed and work at just about any pace that you wish. Ken has been more than keen to do so. And Ko simply trying to catch up. You got the back air, and all of a sudden it's a one stock affair. You know what? Got a chip in a chair. That's all you need to win. Ken, however, might take exception to that. You never know. We are indeed going to get a game number 3 with Ken and only Ken on the board thus far. What can you say? This is someone who is awfully good at what they do and has proven so time and again. Ken, an individual who has placed well, I mean, very recently at the very least, you could say you've gotten second place at a couple of these tournaments, really only losing to individuals like Yaura, these problem matchups that have tormented you for quite some time. Individuals who play Samus and indeed have frustrated players from all over the world, not just you. But still, finishing outside of the top 10, excuse me, outside of the top 8 at Delta most recently, and losing to Tamapi and really to JY. That is a shocking loss. And even though you did have a good run through loser's side, taking out Ryuo in the process, Ryuo the Diddy Kong, excuse me. Certainly outside of your realm of expectation, you certainly don't want to be losing matches in winners top 128, as did happen at Delta. But you're seeing the performance now. You're seeing how he's doing at Gen. Looking, well, damn near untouchable. Ken with some expectations hoisted upon himself. And certainly understandably so. Ko keeping it a little bit closer this time. And oh, that was a tech check and well done by Ko. Ken really just checking to see if Ko was paying attention. That was a test passed. I kind of wonder if you can really afford to give this Fox any sort of confidence in this thing. Oh, they're running up and shielding. Smash 4 special, and indeed, it's Ko who winds up taking first blood here. An interesting switch of events. And Ko is simply going to have to let the game come to them. I mean, Ken is moving as Ken is moving about as well as you could expect. But Ko is catching up to the rhythm a little bit. You know what? The fastball's not blowing by him no more. He's catching up to it, and those foul tips are starting to become slappers up the middle. Ko could see an increase to the batting average here soon. Who knows? Still at triple digits, but 35 points worth of extra credit has got to be a boon of confidence for Ko, who is going to see the stock. Down tilt is going to get the job done. But if you're Ko, I doubt you're complaining all that much. Not able to interact on the revival off the Angel platform. Nonetheless, doing decent enough. This bracket has been quite the event so far, and for those of you who have been watching the Level Up Expo coverage here on this very channel during the daytime hours, certainly appreciate you staying up late and well keeping an eye on the Land of the Rising Sun with us here at VG Bootcamp. And certainly an eventful past couple of weeks here in this channel. But oh my goodness, Oh, I was ready when I saw the green light. But how about you there, Mr. Worldwide? Ken is going to cede the stock after not being ready on the tech under stage. And at the very least, has a little bit to hang over his head. Ken doing a very good job, however, the veteran presence, realizing you got to take that stock and you got to take it fast. And indeed he does, and that makes it an equal affair. However, it is Ko's last stock on winner's side. I will say though, this is not the same Ko that we saw in the first two games of this set. Realizing that this, if it's a quick game, it's a win for Ken. So Ko more than happy to just hold on to Shield a little bit more. If it means getting pressured a little bit, then so be it. I don't think it's something that Ken is going to have all too many that Ko is going to complain all too much about. This performance, certainly a better one in game 3, but you're going to need to have just a little bit more. Ken hanging on at ledge, not getting the not giving up the ghost. You're taking damage, but you're not ceding the stock. Ken will often bend. Very rarely does he break. You're seeing it now. And boom, Ko finding the mark. Ken charging in just a little bit too recklessly, looking for that kill, and is able to find the mark on the up smash. Ko is on the board against Ken, and all of a sudden, the number one player in this tournament is looking just a little bit more mortal. So now just a little bit to consider here for Ken, but I mean honestly, I wouldn't say all that much. You do have a little bit more to maybe a little bit more to consider, but yeah, for the most part, I'd say you're chilling. And here we go with game number 3 in the bag for Ko. We now go to game 4. We will get that scoreboard updated for you, by the way. It says I can't tell them that because, well, frankly, I don't speak Japanese, folks. We are going to see now even more trouble from Ko, just piling on the damage. And yeah, taking on triple digits, but that's to be expected, I suppose, when you're trying to play as aggressive as Ko is. Nonetheless, a lot more even, and Ko has grown into this game quite a bit. And we did see that aforementioned rise in the batting average, but you know, it's still if you're taking 1 out of 4, that means you lost 3-1. So that is going to be a stock for Ken, who, yeah, keep in mind who the veteran is here, pal. Yeah, again, top 25 in the world, but underperforming last week was not to the expectation of Ken at all, especially that upset loss in round top 28 in winner side. And here we go. That's 2 stocks now. We got Ken. Yeah, Ken off of the Angel Plat is pretty good. It's like, you know what? You know what? I needed Sonic stuff to be even more safe. And that is going to be to the benefit of Ken, who's looking for the up smash. There's no way. Ko now recovering. Recovering. Goodness gracious. Recovering in the middle of the stage, I do find it interesting the recovery routes that Ko is being made to take against something as quick to cover as Sonic. I mean, there's no real safe passage if you're getting back to ledge. However, Ken more than keen to go under the stage and let Ko try to find the route from there. Ko sitting at 153 is able to get a little bit more damage onto Ken and indeed get Ken into kill percent. However, that trade is not going to favor Ko. With the parry, however, the up smash, sending them at the weird angle. Ken getting sent off of the other side of the stage, hitting with the very tip of the bicycle kick, and almost made for some shenaniganry at the very end here. However, it is Ko at last stock. However, Ken is more than keen to finish this off pretty quickly. If you're Ko, you do have to be careful of just sort of charging in. And this is the exact distance that Ken wants to keep as well. And it's showing in the results, 61%. Tried to catch him with the F smash on ledge. Tried to two frame him. That was yeah, I guess you can go for it, right? That's safe for some reason. Up tilt. Not going to do the job quite yet. You got Ko to 85%, and what we've been seeing is Ken just with the willingness to just throw those get off me nairs. But Ko not going away from the buttons. That back air is going to take it to a last stock situation here in this game number 4. Ko piling on just a little bit more damage. What does Ko have in store here? You need to recover back the stage. Those platforms are your best friend. You have to think that Ken is going to react to Ko going to those things one way or another at some point. Hazards off is the biggest lie in the competitive rule set. I see 2 of them floating above the stage. Oh, beautifully baited. Ken, buffering back air, and Ko jumped right into that. It is going to be the donkey kick into the blast zone. And it's Ken that wins by a score of 3-1. Ko can only smile and laugh. What can you say? It was a good set. Honestly, Ko has nothing to be ashamed of there. That was a very well contested set against higher odds than perhaps you had any right to be really fighting against. But someone like Ko can probably take that and turn it into a loser's run, I would imagine. Someone if you're able to let the game come to you, if you're able to find a rhythm to Ken's game of all people, someone who really does like to take the offense, put it in your face, pressure, and then pump the brakes and really drag it back. That's not something to shake a stick at. And now we have Ko. Well, you get to go into losers, and that's not an easy task considering the opposition that you are going to face. I do believe that the winner, yeah, you are pretty far into loser side at the very least as we take a look at that bracket. But we are certainly going to see that the first qualificant in winner side top 8. No surprises for guessing who that is. It's Ken, the Sonic extraordinaire, top 25 in the world, and indeed, I do believe number 1 seed in this very tournament. And we are going to see Tody Goody going up against Renoha later on in this bracket as well. Maho and Tarek in an international affair as well. We do have the two. We do have the 2 at the bottom as well. Yopi going up against. Oh, this is on the alternate stream. Is that right? Watch. Yopi in action. Yeah, there you go. But hey, Riope and Yopi going at each other. Riope currently up 2-0, but if you want to go ahead and watch that stream as well, just go ahead and pull that up right alongside and chill out and join us and just chillax as we take a look through the loser side of the bracket. Akakikusu is out. Wow, 3-0 to Reno. That's not nothing, man. Reno going up against Daigoro, the Korin that we saw earlier on in this stream. Yuzu and Netoru is going to be a banger of a set. Of course, the Pichu from France going up against the standard bearer for Rosalina and Luma on that side of the world. Harupoyo and Matsunabe going at each other. Matsunabe putting an end to Gachipi's Cinderella run after eliminating T in losers round 1 of top 48. It is put to a stop by Matsunabe. And Harupoyo looking for a berth in, I believe that's losers top 24. Don't correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm just going to go with that. Yaura versus Tamego in losers side. And of course, Gorioka and potentially Umeki moving on. Umeki getting sent to losers early on in this bracket, a lot earlier than you would think. But speaking of names that might be familiar to you folks, Maho and Tarek, interestingly enough, as we go into, well, what is sure to be an interesting affair. Tarek making it to multiple top 8s all around the world, including where I happen to reside in the state of Texas at Rise and Grind. A top 8 a couple of years ago there, but has been grinding all the way through to become one of the best in Europe. Someone to challenge the likes of Crepe Saleh and of course Glutoni is a Greninja to challenge just about the best in the world, and a nice Hummel jersey to go along with it. Is that Berg the Berg the sponsor? Absolutely. And still with the pink Greninja, still with the white Donkey Kong. No alternate uniforms on the screen, folks. They are as you remember. Maho and Tarek going at each other on small battlefield, and goodness me, those hitboxes are going to take up a large portion of small battlefield for this game number 1. Tarek, a master of movement with Greninja, you're going to have to prove exactly how so. Still, I mean, piling on the damage, you know what? You do have those big hitboxes, but you're also a big body, and you're landing right on stage, missing the ledge entirely. Maho probably wants that one back, but Tarek, relatively merciful, considering what could have happened. And I think that with Tarek, the mercy ends right about there. You try to recover to straight to ledge. That ninja is going to cut your head off. At only 40% in this second stock, Maho with an early lead, but it's being cut into early by Tarek. Whatever you can do to mitigate it, this is going to be to the advantage, I would think, of the invader from Germany. Maho, however, the stray hit KO power of Donkey Kong. It is nothing to be trifled with, and that headbutt going to do it for Tarek, and that's stock number 2. At 120% as well. Maho only building up the power. These stray hits are going to be troublesome for Tarek at the very least, and the shield as well. Oh my gosh, the stomp, the boom, the clap. What else do you want, Maho? Just a display of power, borderline brutality, if we're being honest there. As we see a quick 1-0 lead for the standard bearer of Donkey Kong over in Japan. And again, this is Tarek we're talking about. This is someone who has traveled the world over, gone to Japan, United States many a time. Not someone you exactly want to be underestimating. But I guess that's why Maho is breaking out the good stuff for someone who has very quickly become the I would say, you know what? You could put him in the conversation for best Greninja in the world. I don't really know who's objecting to that. Certainly one of the ones that's keeping Greninja relevant in the current meta. Something that I'm sure a Donkey Kong main could appreciate now that we're thinking about it. We're going to get a quick lead again for Maho. That is a 3-2 lead right now. But again, if you're Tarek, you're not doing poorly on the offensive side of things. In fact, you just tied this thing straight up right away. Just utilize that quickness advantage, but you are suffering on such a small stage, not able to move in and out quite the way that you would like, and putting yourself just a little bit more at risk with that slender body. You are able to put Donkey Kong in the mixer just a little bit. You got the blender going and crank it up to high. It's not exactly set it and forget it, but you know. Oh, but you got pull you down there right into that hitbox, and you just ate a bunch of damage. Did not get knocked back too hard, so you're relatively chilling. And here we go, even further. Mm, yeah, down tilt, big clap. That's about how it works in this game, isn't it? Especially if you're Donkey Kong. And already at 52%, that is going to be a. Oh, I was looking for the tech, trying to anticipate it, but wound up buffering air dodge. And that is a thing that happens in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. So that is going to be a one stock game now. It's a stock that I perhaps Maho could afford to give away, but Tarek is looking to make that mistake a fatal one. Oh my goodness, the wind of Tarek. Yeah, I love that. I love that nod of acknowledgement from Tarek. Just like, okay, you know what? I got that. So we're going to take a quick look at that again on a replay. Just yeah, had the punch wound up ready to go, and yeah, when you get a little overconfident with your movements, that tends to be what happens. So Tarek is going to go down by a score of 2-0, and yeah, it is unfortunate, and we will say the game sound is tied in with the Japanese production, so there's no way to have game sound and also not have two other commentators going at the same time. So I am hearing the same thing as you are, folks. But hopefully it is to your liking, and I hope that I am at the very least providing entertainment in some way, shape, or form. Game number 3 in Small Battlefield. Cargo throw, headbutt, stock. And that's what happens when you make Donkey Kong angry. And yeah, it's the thing. Obviously, the effect of rage is not nearly as pronounced as it was in 4. As Tarek takes that stock, but it's certainly not something that you want to ignore, especially with characters like Donkey Kong. But that's why you got to get rid of those stocks pretty quickly. And when you have something like Ninja's Up Smash, you have the ability to do so. Luckily for them, you can still put the guy in the blender too. You saw that, but those up airs are maybe a little bit harder to connect together. Yeah. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate that. And Miho, oh, dude. Now, okay. Miho is about to take this thing 3-0, but Tarek needs something to say about that and needs it fast. Equalizing this game number 3 and chasing down Miho, just trying not to give him any opportunity to attack. Resets to neutral. After 70% damage and off of a grab, you know that Maho, that's DK, can make it up very, very quickly. Again, stray hit power. This comes in handy in this matchup, especially when you're trying to catch Greninja. It can be like trying to grab a bar of soap in the bath. Not the easiest thing in the world, but Maho missing on the headbutt. It's going to whiff on the neutral B as well. Tarek gonna get the up smash and is on the board. This Greninja not going away so easily. And now here we go. This is Eric has something to consider here because you're the one who's banning the stages, and I don't think you're if you're Maho, you really have no reason to go away from small battlefield, right? Yeah, exactly. So we are going to get game number 4, and fourth verse, same as the first and the second and the third. We are going to see now how Tarek can adapt and how Maho is adapting to the mind games that Tarek is trying to play here. But again, you're talking about a place like Japan. They do love their counterpunching. Tarek may be taking that attitude to heart just a little bit more in that in this game and the past one. However, the grappling ability of Donkey Kong is nothing to shake a stick at. You would have to think that it will play a prominent role here. Maho is going to, however, lose out on that first stock. And Tarek, again, just finding the groove a little bit easier than... but Maho finding the neutral B pretty easily as well. That is 2 stocks apiece. And yeah, if you think you have a lead against Donkey Kong, you kind of don't. That is a big boy with some big muscles. Looking for the down B mid-air. I love me some. I was about to use a word that I probably shouldn't use on broadcast, but you know what? I'm sure I won't get in trouble for saying BS, because frankly, that's an acronym. That could mean anything. Back air. Greninja. Again, whatever you can do at range is certainly not going to hurt you, but I don't know. It's not exactly going to get you the KOs as well. You do need to get down and dirty with it, and these platforms have been Tarek's best friends. Been using those all day. Maho, such a big body, no real choice but to go to those things. Or just recover to the middle. Cargo throw off of the side is going to even this thing up. And game number 4 will come down to the last stock. Tarek trying to stay alive. Maho trying to qualify for top 8 here and now. And which shall it be for Tarek coming all the way from Germany and finding himself up against one of the better DKs that the world has ever seen? True character specialist in every sense of the word. And now into the blender we go. This is trouble if you're Maho. Yeah, you're a big body. Means you're a big target, especially if you are as lethal as Greninja, but nothing could be more lethal than that. Boom, clap, KO, and that is a 3-1 victory for Maho. And yeah, you saw it again, Tarek is someone you really do not want to give a full head of steam. But Maho, again, this is the thing that you want from Donkey Kong, right? You are trying to just squash momentum when you see it. You can be that unstoppable force, but goodness gracious, do you get mileage out of being that immovable object? And sometimes you just got to be able to do that. That's whatever it is that you can do to squash the momentum. Sometimes it's just, hey, I see you running in. You've been running past me for about for the 2 minutes prior to this. Well, guess what? Down B, up smash. There you go. Put your hands together if you want to clap for Maho, who just qualified for top 8. And certainly put some hands together for you as well. Those of you in the chat, down B, up smash like 6 times. There's only so much you can do about it, guy. I don't even know what to tell you. But yeah, shout outs to you in the chat for rocking out with us here. Twitch.tv/VGBootCamp. Our producer watched putting the bracket up on screen, and we are seeing there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Seeing the progress throughout this tournament has been nothing short of harrowing, I must say, because there are some killers in this bracket that are rolling through and just not stopping, and yet you have a good number of players that are already out of this tournament that were favorites to win this thing, such as T or Akakikusu or really Umeki after going down to Dog, I believe it was in losers round 3. Umeki already out of the proceedings here, and Yaura being sent down to losers as well, going up against Taimego. And that is happening off stream. Daigoro and Netoru as well. So Netoru, it should be noted, the French Pichu, if Netoru beats Daigoro, then Naitoru will be facing off against Tarek. So an all European affair considered considerably for losers round 5. Definitely something. I don't know if that's how we wrote it out in the script, but then again, scripts are meant to be torn up and thrown in faces, and that's about what my experience as a screenwriter was. But you know what? That's why they put me on the mic instead. Riop moving on against Yopi, the sword fighter brawler combo. I can see how that could get the best of Yaura in round 1 of this bracket, but Riop is going to move on and face Maho, and now we are just waiting on Renoha and Tody Goody to finish, so we can round out the winner side of our top 8. I will say this has been quite the experience thus far. Not just sitting in front of a computer at about 1:30 in the morning in the central time zone of the United States, but certainly working with VG Bootcamp as a whole. And certainly, if you are familiar with this channel, you already know what the deal is. We give you the best Smash from around the world, whether it's here in the States or certainly in the land of the rising sun. And we're going to bring you even more action in the coming weeks. I'm certain that you're going to see some Kagaribi on this very channel. And as the sun comes up, you're going to come on to this channel yet again in the afternoon and watch some of Level Up Expo. So yeah, folks, we are doing the best to bring you everything from everywhere. And the only thing we ask for you is to hit that purple heart to follow. Subscribe if you're so inclined. If you think it's time, drop that prime. Anything you can do to help us out here at VG Bootcamp is certainly appreciated. And I think I speak for our producer Watch when I say thank you for doing so. I will say, yeah, this tournament happening here at Shinagawa is progressing quite smoothly. I must admit, it is not something that you would have expected, but especially with all the upsets, goodness gracious. But if you are familiar with Japanese Smash, you just know that it is too deep a talent pool to take any match for granted. You see some people come out of nowhere and do some nonsense, but yeah, in fact, Ken having again game taken off of him by both Motsunabe and Ko. Ken looking just a little bit mortal in this tournament. About 8 days, I believe, before Kagaribi, if my math is correct. I'm not sure. Our educational standards in America are pretty bad. I gotta just apologize for y'all. You're just gonna have to bear with me for a second here. But the what we've been seeing in these brackets, again, just a diverse selection of characters. You've got yourself a me brawler fighting a banjo for winners quarterfinals, and you got Donkey Kong winners side top 8. Donkey Kong going up against Snake. Look, I know, just hear me out. It's no, DK is something to be feared. And Maho, if you've watched him before, yeah, no, you fear him for sure. uh Netoru going all the way through loser's side on a very least at a 4 match win streak, I believe, to make it to this point in the bracket. And what I have to say as well, as I am going to go to Japan one day, and I must say that the community has been very accepting. If you are able to meet one of the English speaking, or if you're a Japanese speaker, absolutely, hey, go up, talk to them, just be normal. You're cool. Like, just say, hey, thanks for playing the game the way that you do. Thanks for doing what you do for the community. just be normal. They're human beings just like you. I know we put them on a pedestal and say, hey, this guy is a really good player and he's like a god in this game. Normal human being like you and I. Don't worry about that. And if you are so fortunate to meet someone like Sean from somewhere, or our producer for this stream, Watch, or indeed Naru, guys, anyone like that, you definitely take the time to talk to them. They are just treasures, and the people who are really bridging the gap between the eastern half of the world and the western half through Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. It is truly a sight to behold, and and I can only speak for myself when I say that I appreciate them immensely because they have been instrumental in allowing me on the mic for these things and the ability to commentate for all of you. So we're going to get. Was that the match? Was that the next match? Was the Meta Knight? Am I? Oh my goodness. Okay, we got somebody putting on the mask. Let's go. Meta Knight, and is that Cole on the other side? But actually, let's see here. Is this the loser side bracket? Or am I ah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I saw Meta Knight and I got excited. What can I say? I coming from Philadelphia, very familiar with the gameplay of Bonk, and that's something that I can actually speak upon with just a little bit of knowledge. And we are, yes, that was air quotes that appeared around knowledge just now. So it's something, and I'm happy with that. Yaura, it should be noted, has been oh, that was a test against Tamego, but moving on by a score of 3-2, and we are going to get into this winner's side top 8 matchup. And folks, welcome to top 8 here at Gen 4.0. Riope and Maho. Snake versus Donkey Kong. I mean, hey, you know what? No matter what a matchup chart says, you can say this for sure. It is going to be explosive. Oh, and sometimes a little bit too literally if you're the snake. Feels like an own goal, not gonna lie, but Maho is certainly good enough to instill that fear in you to make a mistake. Sometimes sometimes the donkey wants you to come back there so he can kill you. Getting mileage out of the neutral air in this matchup. Whatever damage you can pile on in Snake in the middle of the air is certainly going to be of appreciation for Maho. But goodness gracious, are you going to get peppered with damage? And the ability to run up and do that, that up tilt, is going to be of such paramount importance for Snake, especially on this, the shortest ceiling in the competitive stage list. You just got to trust that you are going to not get hit with a big old button that puts 60 or 70% damage on you. And I absolutely appreciate none of you going 6-7 in the chat. We are going to go. We are going to. That just spoke into existence. Why did I do that? Dash attack from Riope. Maho sitting at an advantage, but only for so long. You can get caught pretty easily, especially if you're not dancing around these grenades proficiently enough. Yeah, if you smack the ground, the grenades explode, turns out. I'm sure it works like that in real life too, and that is not a theory that I'm keen to test. Oh, there we go. Maho has been caught on these platforms a few too many times, and I get it, you're a big body, but man, people are gonna get caught. Oh, they're gonna catch on to you, but Maho catches on to Riope and is able to get the double fist down onto the skull of Snake, and that is going to be a 1-0 for Maho. Maho again, so consistent. a pretty high finisher at some of these smaller tournaments, but still looking for that crowning achievement in one of these bigger contests. Did quite well this time last year. If you're talking about bigger events in A tier, Obatori, in fact, and yeah, just this time last year, only wound up going down twice to Meister by scores of 3-0 and 1-0, but taking out individuals like Raki, of course, the Kazuya, Candle, the Olimar, Ramikus actually going down to Maho in 5 games. That was the winner's semifinal, and wound up double eliminating Rarikus, as a matter of fact. But yeah, no, that's about the big crowning achievement for Maho thus far. Certainly looking for more, and this as a warm up to Kagaribi in just over a week's time certainly couldn't hurt. What does hurt is that headbutt. Maho going to go up 3 stocks to 2 in this one, and gets him with the charge punch. That is one angry monkey. Gets the back air parried and gets up tilted for the trouble. So that is going to put a close to the opening stock of Maho. But Riop still looking for some momentum in this one. And every time you think you find it, goodness gracious, you're just met with raw, unforgiving power. Making his way back to the stage. The mortars, for as many with as many options as you would think Snake has, none of them give you quite the power. You just have to connect into these big explosive ones. That's 2 giant punches in the same stock, and that is going to be good for one big old KO. 2 stocks to 1 now in favor of Maho, and is not done. Piling it up 60%, 80, almost 90%. Courtesy of that up smash. Oh, that grenade just saved Riop. Riop not doing too badly in his own right. I mean, a former third place finisher at Delta on October 24 knocks Maho into the grenade. And again, this is the mix-up ability that makes Riop so dangerous. Is a pretty low seed in that tournament and has since maintained a pretty consistent string of results. Certainly not to the extent that Riop would want, however. Trying to prove that not just a flash in the pan, but Riop, nothing flashy about that. Just straight up down smash on ledge. Maho getting put into a compromising position is going to be made to pay for it. But again, that's the quality of Riop, who we have seen before do quite well in these bigger brackets, taking out individuals like Goryoka, Tody Goody, and indeed only really going down to Mia and Raru during the course of Delta number 9, I believe that was. But as of late, rather disappointing string of results. These bigger tournaments, you see him finishing around the range of 97th and 65th. A disappointing performance, I think, by Riope's standards, going in from Delta just last week, in fact. We are going to see if Riope can continue to impress here. We have a 1-all matchup here. The grenades continuing to pester Maho. You know what? That nickel and dime damage, it adds up, folks. If you have enough nickels and dimes, you will wind up with $1. The Nikita. Absolutely annoying Maho. The giant punch not finding the mark. And now you have nothing to threaten him with. Hitbox taking care of the Nikita. I do not recommend punching a missile in real life, folks. I do, however, recommend edgeguarding Donkey Kong. That will get you stocks. Fair warning, though, that Donkey Kong is going to be a little mad at you. Get the headbutt, get the stock, and it is a 2-stock game. 51% Maho just getting pestered with these grenades. And the up airs to supplement. Gotta like it from Riope. Again, it's just this stick and move. Whatever you can do to stay out of the range of DK, because you can get grappled quite easily. Ooh. Cypher getting down aired, and not to any peril for Riope, close enough to the ledge to where that was insignificant. However, yeah, you've just been eating grenades this entire stock, my guy. I don't know what to tell you. That shift up in the chair, yeah, that is well timed. But Riope has just been well. I mean, the giant punch has not been as much of a threat ever since Riope got hit with two of them in the same stock. Just a little bit more of a consistent performance. And you know what? Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. That giant punch, getting it done. And the thing is, if you dish out enough damage, and the snake makes enough mistakes, yeah, you tried to recover with some cheeky method, and you're able to catch it with a back air. Maho did get on the board one way or another, so. And that's the thing, the threat of just pure damage can do quite a bit, and it is going to be a down tilt into giant punch that does the job for Maho, and that is a 2-1 lead for the Donkey Kong extraordinaire. And again, Maho, someone who has been, again, looking for a little bit more consistent form, has done decent enough in some of these bigger events, but you certainly, if you're Maho, you're used to finishing pretty high in these events such as Sumobato, especially in like this time last year, you're pretty consistently finishing fourth and fifth. In fact, you have a fifth place finish at Delta under your belt. I mean, you finished second at you finished second at Obatori. You want to do more, certainly, if you're someone with the reputation of Maho. And when you're dealing with a snake like Riope, goodness gracious, the task does not become any easier. 3 stocks to 2 now for the snake, after only suffering 15 percentage points worth of damage, playing into the strengths of this matchup and taking a full stock lead while he's at it. Scooped up. Maho trying to get any sort of Maho. Oh my goodness, nothing mild about that. We are going to see a two stock affair now. But man, oh man, is this just an absolute trial for Donkey Kong, as somebody certainly attested to prior to this. 2 stocks now. And again, we do apologize for the lack of game audio. It is tied to the commentary, the Japanese commentary track. So it would be impossible to have the game audio. Oh, that's a tech check. Riope, you didn't need the audio for that one. You saw the green light, and it did not lie. That was techable. And that is a rough way to lose a stock if you're Riope, especially in a matchup such as this. Doubly so when you are losing at present. Maho is going to potentially go into winners finals here unless Riope can make this comeback happen. Has only so much room to do it with, and the whirling dervish is going to do it. Jab locked on the ledge, and all you need to do, nothing false about that. That one is true. That is a 3-1 game victory for Maho, who is going to go into winners finals. This Donkey Kong is doing some work. Shout outs to the monkey, but yeah, I'm sorry, I'm reading chat. Cardinal sin of Smash commentary, reading the chat middle of the block, but I appreciate you being supportive. And whoever it was, I will shout out Dursey for saying it would be funny if we had 4 commentators and 2 of them were making the sounds. Watch, I'm gonna have to ask you to start making some sound effects, buddy. I don't know what you can do on that front, but you know, anything, all that we can ask is that you do your best, because I know I am. We can get and watch, if you don't want to do it, honestly, just call up Sean. We'll get him or something. What we can say is thank you very much for watching here at twitch.tv/VGBootCamp, your home for the best Smash, both here and around the world. And as we continue on through this bracket, I'm sorry, that was a very funny comment, I must say, Darcy. Thank you for that. But you're supposed to be asleep. You don't know why you're still here, because you love Smash. That's why we're here. Yeah, it is currently 2 a.m. almost where I am in the United States, and very happy to be doing this because I love the Japanese scene. I love Smash, and I love talking to yous. So thank yous for joining us, and thank yous for staying around. And this is where my Philly accent's coming out, so maybe I should stop. Fun fact: I'm from Philadelphia. Hi. No tri-state representation in this one, but I will say we'll give a big shout out to my man RJ over at Collision for holding it down over there. Certainly, things are cooking up over back on the eastern seaboard of the United States. And while we're talking about that, folks, over this week, I want to hear what you think. Supernova being announced. I mean, Video Game Boot Camp's like flagship event, returning back to Baltimore. I believe Baltimore, the site of the original Xanadu, should be said. So those of you familiar with Smash lore, the place where, I mean, casters like TK would come through and pop up. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, the return to Baltimore is real, and glad to see that for Supernova. You're gonna love the Inner Harbor if you haven't been, and it is a beautiful part of the world. Get yourself some crab cakes with some Old Bay, and you are cooking, baby. And that is coming from a Northeasterner. I'm a Philadelphian, and I say I approve of Baltimore. We are going to go to. Do I approve of Sonic Me Brawler? I will put aside my opinions for this one and simply give you the facts, and that is that Renoha and Ken have fought quite a ways in order to get here, and now this best of 5 clip, Renoha was something to prove against the number 1 seed of the tournament. And now we have just a little bit of sound. Oh, wait a second, a shred of sound from the setup here. Very glad that we got that for yous in the chat. But we're going to keep on going here. Just gonna have to. I can confirm that this is our producer Watch making the sound effects himself. Actually, he's just really that good at it. First blood being drawn by Ken. It's a solo effort all around here, folks. What can we say? One-man show, just 2 separate one-man shows simultaneously. And now Ken, trying to build on the lead against Renoha, this up-and-coming Mii Brawler, has gotten a couple of results. At least in the past couple of weeks. But seeing a couple of the higher seeds getting knocked out already. Ken living up to the top billing that he's received. Renoha taking this first stock after 2 minutes. However, the toll has been paid 89%. We know that is on Pokemon Stadium 2, that's F Smash percent, buddy. Don't go to ledge. You're losing it. Here we go, moving on through. Spin dash. Looking for the back air and not finding it. Charging right back on in. The spring. Not finding the mark. Ken looking for looking for a way to close out this second stock is, yeah, no, Renoha has made himself scarce up to that point, but it is going to be the up air that does the job off of the top of Pokemon Stadium 2. Now a full stock lead here for the mainstay Sonic, ranked number 24 in the world. Hung on to ledge for just a little too long, did Renoha. Oh, and the kill off of the top at 60%. Renoha proving that this is not a foregone conclusion here. Again, you know, you're talking about the David versus Goliath matchups. This is the number 24 in the world going up against the number 81 ranked player in Japan. So, not exactly a foregone conclusion in any respect, but goodness gracious, this matchup has to be rough for me, Brawler. However, gets the grab off. Paused for just a little too long. Renoha feeling emboldened to just run up and grapple. Good anticipation. The back air in the middle of the stage. Not able to find the KO yet, but Ken realizing he's got all the time in the world. Unless Renoha shortens the clock. The Nair to get Ken off stage. Renoha getting popped up. But pressed the button just a little too early, and it is going to be the donkey kick that sends Renoha exiting stage left, which is camera right, as you should know. That is game 1 for Ken. And as mentioned, Ken, the number 1 seed, coming off a disappointing result last weekend at Delta, finishing in 9th place, but trying to get a little bit of redemption arc and little wind in the sails before we head into Kagaribi on this time next week in Chiba. We go to game number 2. For reference, by the way, it should be said, Ken, the number 1 seed in this bracket, Renoha, number 28. No excuse not to fight, however. It's a 1 stock game. That means he's touchable. It means he's mortal. If it bleeds, you can kill it. Name the movie, folks. Back air. Beautifully done. Now the sort of trading of the blows here. Again, you know, it's talk about neutral being a conversation. The hits that you get out of them, certainly statements in their own right, but how much can they really mean in the context of a heavy-hitting character like me? Brawler, beautiful catch off of the ledge. Before you could grab it, gets caught in the absolute maelstrom of punches. Good stuff by Renoha. Good anticipation, catching the line of Ken, and taking a stock lead as a result. In triple digits here. Up tilt. Oh my goodness. Renoha has been taking advantage of these platforms. He's gotten quite the bit of mileage out of it. You actually saw that earlier on against Daigoro, as we saw Renoha more than keen to take out the Corrin from the landing zone. Gotta say though, Daigoro still alive in losers, I do believe, but just a testament to how good Renoha is, as is the performance he's putting on right now. Goodness me, at 120%, taking 2 stocks off of a top 25 player in the world. The kicks, they're flying here. Renoha with something to prove, landing in the center stage, and is gonna get the uppercut. Catch a body, young man. That is a 3-stock victory for Renoha. Raise your hand if you had that on your bingo card. I don't even know what to tell you. And that is that is the sort of the chutzpah that you need in order to succeed in a tournament of this caliber. Renoha doing quite well for himself thus far, taking out the likes of Daigoro and Tody Goody by the scores of 3-2, and now just drew things up against Ken. Does make you wonder. I mean, went the of the 5 sets that Renoha has played thus far, only one of those sets did not go the maximum amount of games. That was a 3-1 win over Tamego. So every other set went the maximum amount, including here in top 38. Top 48. Both of them 3-2 victories over Daigoro and Tody Goody, respectively. So I don't know, man. You know, at some point the gas has to run out. You would think. However, does not seem to be just yet. On his own against Ken as we go to Battlefield. That platform, how much of a factor is that going to play? It does make you wonder. Willing to fight there. Oh. I do like Renoha wanting to establish, look, if it's going to be a factor, it's going to be one in my favor. Showing that up B. It did not find the mark, but what a statement of intent. From the David going up against Ken's Goliath. The back air is going to take the stock. Saw that, but easily traded right back. 2 stocks apiece now. Again, just trading these blows back and forth. You do get power on these things, but I mean, you just need to do a death by 1,000 cuts, I would imagine. You can't really afford to be in the range. Can't afford to be in the range of Ken all that often. Or, excuse me, of Renoha all that often. I guess it's mutual, isn't it? But goodness gracious, the power that Mii Brawler affords is something to be respected and feared. In and out of a potentially dangerous situation. Throwing out the nairs, but yeah, Renoha more than happy to show it. Ken more than happy to land it. That is 2 stocks to 1 now for the odds-on favorite at the start of this thing, but we're seeing now just how little that mattered, especially in the face of expectations. In the face of reality, they often shirk, and well, Ken is doing a good job of, at the very least, slowing down the pace of this thing. Let Renoha sit and shield and maybe get a little impatient. Got the grab off. Nair. Looking for it. Yeah, and lands one eventually. I mean, the thing is, if you want to hit it, you generally have to be in pursuit of Sonic, and moving forward into Sonic's range is how you land yourself in trouble. Ken certainly knows this. Oh, buddy, hang on a second. You're hanging out just above Mii Brawler. That is uppercut range. So gets caught on the DP and is going to lose that second stock. However, Renoha seems to be on the way out in this one. However, this is full rage. This is full rage for what it's worth. Yeah, that's gonna be a back air. Into the corner on the far side. It's not going to get the kill just yet. Sending them all the way across the screen. And Renoha more than happy to belabor this point as much as needed. You need to play this perfectly, buddy. And now Ken changing up the shape of movement. That trade is going to favor Ken all day, every day. That is going to be, yep, just a quick little kick and get him out. That's pretty good, not gonna lie. Ken going up 2-1, but again, Renoha showing that it's not simply going away. This is someone with something to prove, as you could tell through just the gameplay. Taking a look at the past results, it's not exactly to be assumed that Ken would just walk all over him. 25th place finish at Delta for Renoha just last week, beating Shirayuki and the Inkling and Kion as well, including Kyo, actually, the Snake. So yeah, this is a guy that has wins of quite some caliber. In fact, yeah, you look at the wins that he has on him. Individuals like Peanut, Maho, Leaf. Yeah, no, there's some good players that fell victim to this very Mii brawler. Ken, however, goodness me, that would be quite the name to take. And you have 2 games to do it. And I will say the stage selection is probably the exact one that you want. You want Sonic to step into the octagon with you. Beautifully anticipated with the sidestep. Reset the momentum just a little bit. Still, you're getting tagged up just a little bit. And that is going to be Ken escorting Renoha out. As we are going to take him 3 stocks to 2. Up airs. Ken gets so much mileage out of up air, man. I have not seen Sonic kill with up air as consistently as I did in Smash 4. I watched a lot of 6WX. But when Sonic wants to play aggressive, Sonic can. Nothing's stopping him from doing it. It's just not exactly optimal. Air dash away. Extend the range of your recovery. You know that Mii brawler doesn't want to go out there, so that's smart stuff from Ken. Also, should be noted, Renoha in that game 1 did catch Ken's recovery pretty quickly on the ledge, so certainly not an unwarranted risk assessment there from Ken. There. Oh. Back air sending Renoha off the ledge, and that is a big lead for Ken, who now leads it 3 stocks to 1. Ken looking to reach winner's final, where Maho awaits. The Donkey Kong about to take on another powerhouse character, potentially. Renoha fighting to the very last here. You got a chip in a chair. Sometimes that's all you need. Down smash. Not quite enough to get the KO, but enough at the very least to keep himself in this thing. At 87% with 1 stock left to give. That might have been Renoha's pound of flesh, but that could be all the consolation prize that he gets here in Smashville. Ken has played this just about perfectly. whatever strengths that Renoha thought you were getting. I mean, simply not able to negotiate Sonic on recovery. Give him a little too much space to work with upon landing. Looking for the up tilt, shielded, and again, Ken just winning these neutral interactions all too often and has not given Renoha any room to get a word in elsewise. That is going to be a 3-1 victory for Ken. Although the victory for Renoha was an emphatic one. You don't necessarily need 3 stock wins. You need 3 wins. And that's how it is with Ken. They don't ask how, they ask how many. I gotta say, those 3 wins, they're quite convincing and certainly befitting the number 1 seed of this tournament. Isn't that right, fellas? Oh, I don't know where they went, but I'm here with you, folks. I'm Stu, the announcer, rocking out with you here at twitch.tv/VGBootCamp. Your home for this English language restream of Gen 4.0. Coming to you live from Shinagawa, Tokyo, Japan. And Watch is your producer for this English restream. We got a couple of the folks hanging out. I think that's the European contingent that we saw behind the commentary setup. Saw Tarek hanging out with Nator, I believe it was. But yeah, we are going to continue on with bracket here, and our winner's side is set. Ken versus Maho. Yeah. Okay, so Sonic versus DK. And yeah, DK has not won a major yet, I don't believe. However, there have been a couple of DK pockets that have done some damage in bracket. We saw individuals going DK here and there, and like people who were able to pull it out. You know, at his soul, I do believe that there's a part of Tweak that wants to play DK still. I truly do believe that, but unfortunately, we have not seen it as of late. So we're just going to have to wait until I speak that into existence even more. Daigoro, it should be said, good run through loser's side. As I alluded to, we were talking about Renoha sending Daigoro to losers. And all he did was take out Reno, Netoru, and Tarek. So taking out the remaining European contingent, it should be said, was Daigoro. And yeah, now going up against some pretty quality competition in their own right in Haru Poyo. So this is not something that you want to be sleeping on if you're in the same part of the world as I am in the United States. And for those of you who are from Tri-State, hey, shout outs to yous. Make sure you get on over to Supernova this coming August in the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. There are a few more beautiful places in the Northeast. I love the Inner Harbor. Got the aquarium, got all sorts of good stuff, good food. Get some crab cakes, get some seafood, get some good horseshoe crab. Goodness gracious, if you love seafood, you'll love Baltimore. But we could talk about that afterwards, and certainly perhaps in the waking hours here in the U.S., where we'll be streaming Level Up Expo from Las Vegas. So we'll get to that at some other point. I'm sure that it'll be discussed. But Haru Poyo, the Enderman on screen, going up against Daigoro, the Korin. Continuing on here. The pins. Just trying to establish the range of that sword early, as you want to do. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple, especially at the start. Winner of this, by the way, will go on to face off against Renoha. So Daigoro playing for a chance at revenge here. Makes you wonder how that might factor into the mindset. It probably wouldn't, but what can I say? It would probably factor into mine because I'm petty. Lead now for Daigoro. First blood being drawn in this best of 5 clip. Looking for the pin, not finding it. Here we go. We got Harupoyo just mining away for the minerals and actually getting taken to task here by Daigoro. This is let's say this is what you want to see if you're if you're a fan of Minecraft, Steve. I know there's so many of you in chat, so just don't raise your hands all at the same time. No need to do that. But there you go. You got yourself something. There you go. Look at you. Oh boy. Daigoro now. Looking for the killing blow on Harupoyo. Harupoyo, by the way, decent run throughout this loser's side, but we'll get to that in a minute. Daigoro looking to nullify all of that. It's like, hey, you might have faced some good opponents. You have not faced me, Daigoro. With a 2-stock victory, and a convincing one at that. Harupoyo on a 6-match win streak, taking out the legs of Taikei, Growth, Matsunabe, and most recently Yopi by a score of 3-0, no less. That Matsunabe set, by the way, went 5 games. So Harupoyo, a decent young competitor, but Daigoro maybe with the experience advantage here. Harupoyo with just a little bit more room to grow. It's been an absolute bloodbath in this loser's side. We will give the update as we go forward. And yeah, no, I got a Japanese co-commentator. What can I say, baby? And now, yeah, Daigoro probably explaining how Reno, Naitoru, and Tarek all fell victim to Daigoro in this loser's side. So 3-match win streak here for the Korean main, as almost falling victim to the anvil popping out of nowhere. Oh, gotta be careful. These cartoon characters just pulling stuff out of the hammer space. The pin? The pickaxe? Quite the contrast, I know. And the back air doing some work as well. And that is going to be a 2-stock affair now as Daigoro. Again, the amount of work that that Daigoro has put in, especially in recent months. The 33rd place finish last week at Delta. At Delta. And this is Daigoro now. Again, just reestablishing the tempo in this one. At a deficit in terms of I mean, you can't even rely on pure damage, can you? Just because you have to deal with diamond, gold, what have you. Just at a weapons disadvantage, you know that every single hit you suffer is going to send you pretty far at this point. But well parried there by Harupoyo. Still fighting with intention, and now at 49%. Harupoyo. Again, this thing is not over. Daigoro now. Looking for just a little bit more. The anvil getting dropped yet again. Back air. Looking for just a little more. This is a pretty tense Honestly, pretty intense exchange, and then you get hit with the minecart Harupoyo. Let me Google Translate, I will side B because it is strong. Either way, it's going to translate to a 1-all affair here in this losers round 6 matchup. I do believe it's losers round 6. I did say that without checking. Indeed it is. On the cusp of top 6 here. Hey, look, this is a top 8 matchup. They did very well in order to get here. As on the other side, it should be said Yaura, the number 2 seed in this tournament, in losers for quite some time now. After getting sent here in round 1 of top 38 by Yopi, the aforementioned Yopi, it should be said. But Yaura has been the Reaper of Souls in loser's side, taking out Masami, Tamego, and Ko, who we saw earlier on. And goodness gracious, Harupoyo saying, hey, enough about Yaura. Talk about me, why don't ya? Fair enough, Harupoyo. You are up 3-2 against Daigoro. That only makes sense. That reverse kick off of the pin. Daigoro has shown some favoritism to that. Does like to use it as an option to check people who like to recover towards stage. Just shy of the platform. One of those little go-tos that Daigoro seems to be fond of. Always seems to be ready on it, too. Not leaning on it, but ready for it. Hopefully that was the update on a little bit of what you missed, but nonetheless, as we are awaiting Ken versus Maho in the final, in winner's final, should be said. Still got quite the contentious affair in loser side as well. Winner of this one going on to face off against Renoha, the very Renoha that sent Daigoro to loser side, as Daigoro ties it up at 2 stocks. But having a hard time dealing with the Minecraft Steve antics. Excuse me, Enderman, I should say. That is an up smash, and that is a KO. Of course it is. It's Pokemon Stadium 2. Full stock lead now for Harupoyo. Done quite well in his own right to make it through this part of bracket. And just to make it to top 8, let me see, because this is someone who got sent to losers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sent to losers by Maipon all the way in pools. That is crazy. So I'm just counting the matches now. An 7-match win streak in order to make it to loser's side top 8. And now Daigoro at the cusp of a deficit here in said top 8. However, you are in a last stock game, you know? You can't really ask for a whole lot more than that, especially against a character that can be as unpredictable as Minecraft Steve. Over there. Again, just utilizing the range of Daigoro, that little bit of chip damage. Honestly, if you can slow down the game, then you're not exactly doing poorly, but you don't really want them getting diamond either. Oh, the swing of the sword is going to do it, and yep, the smash attack clears out the Korin, and all of a sudden, Harupoyo with a 2-1 lead. And a very real possibility of going clear into top 6 through 8 straight wins on this very occasion. So continuing on here, I don't know. I mean, you have quite the top 8 already. As we mentioned, Yaura and Dog is happening on the alternate stream as well, but that's going to a game 5. We will update you as needed, but Daigoro and Harupoyo battling it out here, and a quick 0 to death from Go to KO in 22 seconds. And maybe a little bit more methodical than some of the 0 to deaths that you're used to seeing on compilations, but hey, they count all the same. And the lead counts all the same. Oh, looking for the... Oh, Daigoro overextended big time. That could have been dangerous. The pin? Gets the up B that time. That's how it could have looked. Daigoro, was wishing for the... It seemed like wishful thinking, not gonna lie, that up B near the ledge. Or not near the ledge. Near the blast zone. But it's an up smash that will take the next stock instead, and Harupoyo firmly in the driver's seat of this one. At 114% with 3 stocks in hand. All the resources that they need. No, all the pun intended. Daigoro with taking a pound of flesh there, but you need a lot more than that in order to get yourself back in this thing. And against Diamond Weapons, oh boy, you are facing an uphill battle. 結構コンボから吹っ飛ばせればカムイガもでも本当に仕掛ける技を全部ジャストシール取りすぎ横 B 刺さってそうですねライン回復あそこにブロックを置くと結構まあ比較的横 B で刺してからが回復しやすいがさあ 127% もうしんどいいやいや本当に危なすぎる Oh, it's getting tense, and now, oh, the charge in and the knockout. That's a rough way to go if you're, that's a rough way to go if you're Daigoro. But it is it was an effort that was not wasted, at least on us, the viewers. And Harupoyo is going to move on by a score of 3-1, and that is quite the way to qualify for losers top 6, I suppose. Is win 8 straight games and just prove your way there. And it's going to be Harupoyo, the Steve, going up against Renoha, the Mii Brawler. And we are going to continue on with that. Yaura one against Dog. So that's Yaura winning by a score of 3-2. So we're gonna get Samus versus Snake on the alternative stream, I do believe. I hope. And that's gonna be for someone else to commentate. I would imagine and hope and pray, but that's neither here nor there. I know it's going to be intriguing if nothing else, and the intrigue that is being brought throughout this bracket by players that you would not expect to be here. And frankly, Yaura going into loser's side as soon as he did was not something that was expected. So, I guess on behalf of Watch, the producer, and my colleague from Japan over here, I'd like to thank you for watching us here at twitch.tv/VGBootCamp. And I think you're talking to production there. Is this guy? But either way, VGBootCamp, your home for some of the best Smash here and around the world. We are. I don't know if we're good to take a quick break, but actually, I think they're. We're just going right into the next match. I can only imagine. Second. We are in. Full screen, 2大配信で、配信体制を行っておりますので、反対側のルーザーズクォーターファイナルかなこれ。ルーザーズセミファイナルか。But yeah, it's been quite the experience so far, and I don't know. We're sort of hustling through here, and hey, exclamation point bracket if you want the bracket for this turn. Actually, exclamation point bracket might give you Level Up, because we are streaming that here on this very channel during the daytime. We have the night shift. Really, is just the Japan crew giving you this matchup, but yeah, we're kind of schmoving, and I think we are going to get Yaura versus Riop in this in on this set. So we're going to get that right here and now. So interestingly enough, we are going to get the number 2 seed in this one, Yaura, who yeah, it was a little bit of an early exit into the side of the bracket at the hands of Yopi, a combination brawler and me sword fighter, if you can believe that. But yeah, it did take one game, but unfortunately lost the other three. We came very close to seeing this matchup in winners quarterfinals, but for that loss, Ryope making making their way down here from winners semifinals. And oh, hang on a second. And that is quite the graphic here. Yeah, and so Yaura, the number 3 seed in this tournament, Ryope, the number 22. Already a good outperformance from Ryope, but still the potential is there, having finished third at Delta number 9 1.5 years ago. That was in October 2024. And seeing what people have been capable of, I can absolutely see a potential upset here. But the Snake versus Dark Samus matchup,
さあ、ジェーン4.0ももうあ
you
と
just never know how troublesome
5、6試合ぐらい
this thing can be.
ですね。というわけで、ルーザーズクォーター、春ぽよりの葉。まあもう、かがり火1週間前なので。
Oh, that's going to be a quick, there's going to be a quick acquiescence of the first stock by Ryope. Not exactly when you wanted to happen there. Oh, is this the alternative stream here? We're watching the alternative stream. You know what, folks? We are going to, I think, join the watch. Can you confirm that this isn't the match that we're watching right now? Okay. So, I would request a quick break, but I certainly don't want people to miss this matchup potentially. So, do we have time to do that? Or... Okay. You know what, folks? You go ahead and we will let you enjoy Ryope versus Yaura without commentary. We will join you back here for Winners Final, Ken versus Maho, here on twitch.tv/VGBootCamp. Once again, hit that purple heart to follow. Subscribe if you're so inclined. If you think it's time, drop that prime. Anything you can do to help us out here is more than appreciated as we take you all through the night here at Gen 4.0. We'll be right back. Enjoy the match.
ウエスマを空 N で裏当てで相殺しただとシンプルにうますぎだろそれは横京さすがに撃墜ですねさあファーストストックヨペイのファーストストックだ空前ジャストシールとしてしかしいやこれメテオにおう怖い展開なんとか帰ってきますスーパーアーマーが頼もしいヘビーアーマーかじーじーとした読み合い何が起こる弱位置から振り向きつかみここはあえて内側に潜り込むそのまま真下にね戻る選択肢が全て潰されているからこそ試してみた選択肢ダッシュアタックなんとかシールドが間に合って先ほどチョン戦でもねあれに対してなんか最初は通ってたんだけど途中から通って通らなくなってたからまあここからどのように海合が回っていくか楽しみだが着地狩り空上空へスネークの重さならばまだ大丈夫だが 手榴弾が鬱陶しいですね。うまいこと、ガード漏れたか、動いたかわからないが、ひとまず1本目取ったのはヤウラ。はい、第2ゲーム挑戦状に参りました。おっと集団ミスか、なんかジョペイさんなんか結構シンプルなミスが目立つというか、さすがにトーナメントの疲労が見られるか。もうルーザーズトップ6だもんね。食える、たっか死にかけたけど、上スマッシュはさすがに食らってあげられない。うまく回避合わせた。しかし下強で拾った後、その後が難しい。しかしシールドする相手に対する固めタクとしては非常に優秀。先端うまく合わせて掴みたかったが届かない。サムスの掴みは通ります。さあこれがワイヤー掴み、これがキャラ格差。しかしスネークのキャラパワーも、天下一品といって差し支えないものでしょう。ディレイかけた空上、大上に対する固め。チャージショットはしっかりガードしたがクーグラが鬱陶しい。さあこの駆け上がり、ダッシュアタック、ボムからつながる。さあリョペチャージショットをしっかりガードして空中下通しました。この駆け上がり、いっぺん引いて手榴弾持たせてうまく火力を伸ばしていく。さあそこにも C4 がありますよ。上から帰らざるを得ない。読んでいたが難しい。掴んで人の芸、なるほど外に転がりますヤウラ。ここはニュートラル回避、違うか移動回避か。さあリョペは下がりますが、それすらも手に取るように勝っていくヤウラ。弱位置空中上での大折り、空中上でのタクは通しませんリョペ。しかし空中前引っかかってしまう。チャージショット当たってしまう。これは痛い、これは痛い。しかし動きをうまく通した。現在 140%。 チャージショットをうまく消して、さらにまだターンが続く。食らってくれない。 C4 が時間経過で起爆していく。クーグラも持続が当たって、しかし空中ニュートラル、まず最後まで当てました。ここは撃墜。さあ C4 があそこにあるのでガードせざるを得ない。手榴弾から空中ニュートラルつなげたかったがやや遠かった。ボムからスマッシュ、撃墜はしない。うわー、上スマッシュギリギリ隅のところで避けてダッシュアタック通します。チャージショットもガード。さあリョペうまくヤウラの角をいなしている。読み合いに勝ち続けて、この崖クエノをガードして、しかし弱暴れ、振り向き掴んで後ろ投げ、致命打にはならない。しかし空中上、ここに来て素直に着地狩りをしてくる。下投げ DA 重いキャラには有効。早めの上必殺離脱だが、なるほどミサイル面白い。はい、下に投げ攻撃起き上がり、両方ガードしてシールドを大幅に削れてしまっていた。ちょっと難しかったですね、その後の対応。空前しっかりガードを出し、アタック当たらず逆に差し返される形。さあリョペイとしては厳しい展開が続く。空中後ろガードして反転手榴弾を空前が引っかかってしまう。弱位置チャージショット、ガードが頭が漏れています。頭身の高い人型キャラ、こういうことが起こってしまう。どうしてもチャージショット当たりパーセントはほぼイーブン。ジャストシールド空中前裏タク、上にメテオメテオではないのかもしれないが、それでも非常にいい裏タクでしたね。掴んだ下投げ上強。さあ序盤の効果力コンボだ。ジ ジャストシールをした今日、そして C4、これは美味しい。さあリョペイが怒涛の追い上げを見せるこの展開。弱位置から空中ニュートラルしっかりガード。チャージショット漏れてしまう。後頭部に直撃。上から帰ってくると早めの回避は空前で救われてしまい、これは撃墜。ヤウラが2本目を取りました。しかしですよ、中盤からの怒涛な追い上げ見事と言わざるを得ない。はい、第3ゲームで第3ゲーム目でございます。ステージは引き続き小戦場。序盤はリョペイが軽快に火力を稼いでいきますよ。上必殺暴れ通されます。つかみを通されますが手榴弾があるので追撃は難しい。いい置き場所ですね。仮に食らったとしてもどうしてもこの妥協せざるを得ないヤウラ側に、相打ちになるんだったら現在リードしているリョペイ側が嬉しい。空中後ろ持続で当てて、ここは攻撃上がり、面白い。そして手榴弾で妨害されない小ささのチャージショット打ってますね。なるほどね、これがキャラタイか。C4 が自動起爆してしまった。これはちょっと嫌な時間が始まる。しかしダッシュアタックうまく通しまして、いやチャージショットだ。こちらもあまりうまく通す。弱位置しっかりガード。読み合いダッシュアタックでめくっているが表裏関係なしの上必殺。ガーキャン上必殺の中でもリターンを取るという意味では最大級のものでしょう。上スマッシュシールド漏れを狙った一撃だがこれは漏れない。よく最速2段上強視線見えましたが、ここはサムスの空中ニュートラル。先に判定勝ち。掴んで上投げ 150% といえばサムスの上投げのバーストライン。南間だが空中ニュートラルは難なくいなしたヤウラ。逆に空中後ろで押し置き、表裏ライン入れ替わる。手榴弾から空中前。お前の手榴弾からのクエル確定するんだったらこっちだって確定するんだぞっていうね。そりゃそうなんだけど、下スマッシュを合わせようと確認していたんですが、わずかにフレーム合わず逆にスネークの上強攻撃で撃墜を捉えてしまったヤウラ。さあリョペイ、ここは美味しい展開だったがチャージショット食らってしまう。上強当たるわけにはいかない。ここは安全に上から帰ります。めぐって、しかし回避を通される。振り向きつかみが強力。空中前は集団相打ちで OK。 空中後ろカス当たりだけ戻ってまいります。弱暴れ、ここに来ていい弱暴れを通したリョペイ。しかしリレーをかけにかけたチャージショットがリョペイの体力を蝕む。そして振り向きつかみからの上投げ。このタクを通せるのがこの男だ。さあ最終ストックに手をかけましたヤウラ。しかし C4 からこれは美味しい展開。上必殺暴れも許さない。クエルも1段目をしゃがみで避けて2段目もガードしていたんですが、いや気まずい時間。集団での相打ちしますが、これは展開を維持され続けているリョペイとしては苦しい。ノリノリだなヤウラ。どうやってこれを止めるんだ。ジャストシールを狙っているがタイミングが合わない。うわ、うまくすり抜けていった。さあもうそのつかみ食らうわけにはいけないぞ。つかみを振るんだったらそう回避が答えとなる。攻撃上がり、空中後ろが先端で当たり大きく飛ぶ。さあヤウラ 3-0 でリョペイを下してみせました。
Folks, as you just saw, a 3-0 affair for Yaura as we see victory taken in that set. And yeah, definitely alluded to that being just a little bit quicker, but yeah, no, Riope again. That's the third place finisher at a at a Delta a couple years ago. So definitely run of a lifetime stuff there. But you know what? That's a top 8 berth here at Gen, and can only speculate as to how that might contribute to the confidence going in to this very set. So we are going to go and we're going to go forward and watch even more stuff from this set and from this bracket. Excuse me, as I get myself resituated. We are awaiting the start of winners final, Maho against Ken. So we are going to see now just how good that DK can be in the face of one of the best players in the world, top 25. And yeah, you know what? It's a Sonic, but you already know the vibes. The guy can fight and is not afraid to do so. Over on the other side of the bracket, we have seen Harupoyo move on and going on against Yaura. So that is going to be a hotly contested one. Talking about Dark Samus and Steve. There are ways to break through those walls, but how much can you do so at range? You do have up close kill options as Samus. How willing are you to go for those in the face of something like a diamond pickaxe? Does make you wonder. Harupoyo and Yaura rounding out your top 4. Certainly have to give acknowledgement to Renoha, the Mii brawler who made it to that point in the bracket. But yeah, and Riope as well, some skilled snake play. But that is going to be, and Daigoro and Dog rounding out the top 8 contenders in our bracket here today. Daigoro being a Korin and Dog the Fox, who wound up taking Yaura to the absolute limit. This bracket could have looked very different had Dog been able to continue the loser's side run, taking out Umeki and Goryoka along the way. So certainly a top 8 spot, well earned, and a 7th place finish for G3's very own Dog. But we are going to go in now to Ken versus Maho. Thank you very much for joining us here at twitch.tv/VGBootCamp, your home for this English language restream of Gen 4.0. Streaming this for the 2.8 billion English speakers around the world, and we certainly thank you for joining us here today, wherever it might be, whenever it might be, where you are. Certainly coming up to the 4 o'clock hour on the East Coast, 3 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. But yeah, it is mid-afternoon, late afternoon in the land of the rising sun, and it's a good day for some Smash. It's a Saturday in the Shinagawa section of Tokyo, and spin dash, fake out the movement, and again, yeah, this is going to be a lot of Sonic moving and Maho trying to catch him. So some Tom and Jerry antics at play here, but I don't know. That Tom packs a punch. What can we say? Dashing back and forth. That can only mean trouble, I would imagine. At 181%, the straight hits that are going to come from Maho at that percentage. Especially here at Hollow Bastion. Have just a little bit of a wider area to potentially recover. But goodness me, do you have a low platform. There is no hiding spot, especially when you can get cargo thrown and headbutted. The big equalizer. Advice for you when you're fighting heavies. If you have a lead, no you don't. Looking for the forward air. Just swinging it. Trying to see if Ken is willing to jump out there. Ken okay to set a modest pace to start this best of 5 clip here in Winners Final. Nearly 1 a.m. Where you are. That's good to know. That is, I would believe,
外ベクだったら何もないと。
Past the Pacific time zone. Interesting.
うえ
Oh my gosh.
めっちゃ当たってるよりでかい。うまい。
Oh, and the cargo throw off of the ledge, and yeah, buddy, that is Maho.
さすがに100%あーこれは空中上から。
Sometimes he's got to cheese stocks. That has been that's some classic Ken stuff. Pop him up air out. Doing that ever since Smash 4. What can you say?
崖の展開
けど、タイミングずらして
ちょっと待ち時間。おお。アーマーが発生する前でしたね。
してなかったね。
ちょっと歩いて。
And this DK, gotta say, I mean, whatever you think of the matchup charts, been able to take out some pretty skilled competitors and sort of turn the matchup chart on his head, really, as it were. Talking about taking out Riop by a score of 3-1 and taking down Tarek by a score of 3-1 as well. This is in fact doing some decent work against Teshi in 5 games, taking down a Samus. Although used the meat brawler for that one as well. Maho again taking this to the taking Ken to the limit, but oh, the emotional reaction there from Maho. You could tell he wanted it. You could tell, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, especially against Sonic in Ultimate. That is going to be a 1-0 lead for the #1 seed in the tournament. Again, someone who was looking to get a little bit of wind in the sails going into Kagaribi, especially after a disappointing result in the week prior at Delta. As we go to game #2, we'll talk about that a little later on. Again, Hollow Bastion, yet again the stage for this one. It's like, you know that Donkey Kong is going to get mileage out of you landing on platforms at someplace like Small Battlefield or Smashville. You're getting something out of up smashes at the very least, but goodness me, is it easy to climb up onto that platform and get the headbutts in. Maho, you're getting plenty of mileage out of that. Oh, you want to join me down in the abyss? Hey, don't worry, buddy. I can drag you right down with me. So says Maho. A statement of intent. You wanna try to get cheeky below the stage? That's fine. I can deploy the hitboxes. I can make you hurt for it. Tanks the spring, gets back to the stage. Still sitting at 135%. Again, this is some anger flowing through Maho. There's rage in him. You can see the hatred in his eyes. The back air being deployed, that could have been bad if Ken picked the wrong angle. Gonna get hit with the Nair as well. And, oh, is going to see the stock. I get the feeling Maho does not mind much at all. That is going to be a full stock lead now for the DK, and Ken is being tested here. Maho is someone, goodness me, you are making a mistake if you underestimate this kid.
空中前で
NB 反転。
あーこれはギリギリすっぽ抜けてしまう。空中前ガードしきって上に逃げますが下今日当たっている。
そう、ケン選手狙いたいのはやっぱりダッシュ。
Dash attack in. Ken trying to close down the space. Maho just not able to get back to the stage. Finally able to get back up, but still in disadvantage. You know, it's a big risk, big reward character. You kind of have to expect it. It comes with the territory. But Ken, sitting at 119, has been able to put on just a flurry of offense. Maho having to contend with the big body that comes with that, with all those muscles that can output the damage. Maho now has beaten the best that this region has to offer, including Ken. In fact, has a winning record on him. Ken trying to flip the script here, the #1 seed in the tournament. And got the headbutt. It's going to be an up throw, and that is it. Maho going to draw things up at 1. Again, this is Maho with a 4-2 match lead all time against Ken. the last set that they faced off against was a losers final set at 2-7. It was a B tier on a couple months ago on March 20, actually just 1 month ago, March 29th. Pretty good showing by Maho in that one, playing Ken in losers finals and taking him out by a score of 3-1, I believe it was. 3-2, excuse me. That did go 5. And there's a chance this goes the distance as well, this time in winners final. For those of you curious, Maho did in fact lose to Shuton in grand finals of that B tier that I had mentioned just now. But still, you know, you're the #1 seed, but you're going up against someone that you have a losing record against. It's got to put a fire in your belly. Or at the very least, some butterflies. The dash dancing, the little bit of foxtrot in there from Ken. You got to appreciate that. Takes 1 to foxtrot, but with Maho, it takes 2 to tango. Let's see just what kind of rhythm Maho is dancing to here on Final Destination. The spring, finding the mark. Oh, and absolutely snuffing out the recovery. The upbeat coming online. Ken finding exactly where to pull the plug. Swooping right on in. Maho getting caught in the end frames of some of those buttons. And yeah, cooldown is tough. Yeah, mild is the 4 and the 4-2. And it's a little trouble. Nothing mild about him. What can you say? And now the swat out of the air. Get out of my face. Hang on a second. Pounds the floor. Yeah, Ken just has a tough time reading what this DK is trying to do. And really, like, even if you win neutral against the DK, right? You just have to deal with so much in terms of just pure damage. It takes such a mental toll on you. I can understand a player like Ken having trouble with it. Oh, however, catching on pretty quickly at 138%. As Maho against the ropes. That's a back air that's going to clean up the first stock, but the first stock taken far too late for Maho's liking. Catching him with the down tilt. Looking for it at the very end. Mild, very judiciously avoiding the jump button on that occasion. Back air's being deployed, makes sense. I mean, DK, this is a character that is not exactly helpless. Like, I get it, it's a big body. Keep in mind, you essentially have Cloud Smash 4 up air. Like, you have range to deal with threats. Certainly against something like Sonic. Gonna go to the corner, and you are not going to be able to DI out of that one. It's 2 games to 1 in favor of Ken. Again, we were talking a little bit about the expectation placed upon Ken, certainly as the #1 seed, but Maho, by the way, the number 10 in this particular contest. Ken, however, has not been the finishing outside of the top 10 in the last week's Delta, and now looking to bounce back. In fact, it was a weekly in Sumapa, finishing in second, only to Yaura. So really just needs a win under his belt, and against a troublesome opponent like Maho, that would be a big one. Certainly something to give him just a little bit more confidence, a little bit more swagger. As Netoru might say, the je ne sais quoi that a Sonic might need in order to succeed and go deep in bracket. Certainly always a player to be feared. Just trying to confirm as such. A week before KGP out in Chiba. Piling on the damage and catches Mild below the ledge and about to say Mild below the edge. I don't know. That's folks. It's late here in the United States. Either way, Ken drawing first blood. Game number 4.
掴みたいドンキーと上り空当てたいソニック。
ゴーリパンスピンがね一回3回ジャストシールドから空中へ
掴んだら
3回ジャストシールドしてこれはうますぎる。完全にもうイーブンに戻しましたね。ゴーリパン当てて 35%。まあね、アーマーがあるんでスピンで来るならば、そうですね。アーマーで完全にゴーリパンでぶち抜くという。
Looking for the grabs, just anticipating Ken jumping back up on the platform, knowing basically where Ken wanted to go, just getting the timing wrong. Wasn't made to pay too hard for it, though. Still a relatively even game 4. This is about where you want to be if you're Maho, right? Like, jump down, hits.
もう下一つも当たれない。おお、掴みに行きましたが、ここはスピンでなんとか迎撃。復帰がうまい。
Okay. Yeah, swats him off the ledge. Want to catch with the F smash? That's fine. I don't even need to smash that. 2 stocks to 1 now for Maho. Again, 10 seed in the tournament and doing decent enough.
マイルの HO ドンキーコングですが、ホーミングジャストシールドしてますが、こういうのはジャストシールドするとね、特に反撃がなくなるので。
And man, there is just a lot of stuff to consider if you are mild in this one. Already at well above kill percent, I should say. Goodness gracious, my brain just stopped working there. That's amazing. But the headbutt is going to do it. Not even a splash screen for that one. Just holding up in an attempt to escape. It did not work, and you died for it. That is going to be winner's final of Gen 4.0. Going to a Game 5. And Maho. You okay there, buddy? Might be feeling the pressure there. Who knows? I don't know. Could be awful troublesome if you find yourself struggling here. And here we go to decide potentially the fate of this tournament. Qualifying into grand finals from winner's side. Ken could certainly use this. I could say that. But Mild, holy smokes. The work that this DK has put in thus far. Nothing short of admirable.
3回ソニックが耐えてくれた。スピンすっぽ抜けてダッシュアタックで差し返して空中へ2段目ジャストシールド空下当てたら
The ground slaps.
大目のドンキーコングが空中下でそこから一気にがあるので
Oh, more than happy to bait out buttons so far. You gotta wonder when the attack is going to come in, but Mild Ho's going to wait no longer. He's simply going to go in with the buttons and realizing that those arms are long enough.
うおちゃんと反転した距離してもゴーリパン危ねえ。口に入れたルーカリ横スマね飛ばそうとしていきますが、まだなんとかダッシュアタック空中前に暴れて横スマッシュ当たらない攻撃がガードして着地はできない。着地狩りがその先に剣選手がいる。
And the attack gonna get punished yet again, going into the blast zone. Not quite enough to kill. The grab, throw, not gonna do it just yet. It's hanging on at 161. Mild Ho so good at getting value out of these stocks. And yeah, The full government tag's getting used. That's what happens when you are the best Donkey Kong in the East. You earn that respect. That's Mr. Ho to you, quite frankly. Ken, powering on through, however, continuing the dominance that he's shown, and that is a big punish there. If you want to join me on the top platform, I am more than happy. Punch him for that.
さあ着地苦しいぞ。上スマッシュ狙ってきますが、上必殺ちゃんと避けている。ダッシュつかみ、外に飛ばせばとりあえずケン選手の展開が待っている。
And now Maho looking for the opportunity, but not finding it. I mean, he's just been searching a little too hard. You poke your head where it doesn't belong, and it's bound to get punched, like so. Ken sends him off to the side. Dangerous position. Full stock lead now for Ken. Again, someone who has beaten the best that the world has to offer. What else can you do if you are this Donkey Kong? But fight your way out of it. Ken simply making himself scarce. Nigh upon untouchable, has not lost a stock in these past 3 minutes. And at 134, you're just popping him up. Maho, as good as he's been, maybe running out of gas in this game 5, looking for his pound of flesh at the very least. Will he at the very least catch a parting shot? But the up air is going to do it. Not even the splash screen there either. It is going to be Ken. Takes out Maho in 5 games. Ken on the way to grand finals, as the seeding would have told you. But everything about this tournament seems just a little topsy-turvy. It makes you wonder that tournament magic as it cooks up in the air. Seeing it fester in Tokyo, here and now, 8 days before KGB, all that magic, all that wherewithal, all the whirling dervish and chaos that tends to happen in these brackets in the land of the rising sun, it has 8 days to make its way over east to Chiba. And it just makes you wonder what could be in store for us as we go in to KGB 8 days from now. Those are answers that we will see over time, over in the next 8 days or so. But you know what? Right now, got ourselves a heck of a tournament ahead of us, and top 3 so far. We are going to get into the loser side. Loser semifinal is up next. I do believe being played with. Actually, wait, has it been played already? Haru Poyo has Haru Poyo lost to Yaura? Or yes. Oh, okay. I was confused because I did not see a score on that matchup, but I was wondering if that was submitted in error. But no, we are in fact going to see. There is no rest for the weary. We will in fact get Maho and Yaura against each other in this bracket, and yeah, Yaura again going down early at the beginning of winners round 1 of top 48, I should say, losing to the sword fighter and brawler by the name of Yopi. Themselves had a decent bracket, I should say. And yeah, all Yaura did from there on in was go on a 6-match win streak. So you know what? That's what you're expected to do when you're the number 3 seed in this tournament, when you're ranked in international play on multiple fronts. But you know what? That's what the expectation was, and what else could Yaura do except deliver? That's just what you that's just why they pay you the big bucks, I guess. But either way, it's losers finals, Dark Samus versus Donkey Kong. It is a troublesome predicament indeed that you've weaved for yourself here. But the stakes could not be more clear. Winner goes on, loser goes home. Proud to bring this matchup here on twitch.tv/VGBootCamp. Your home for the best Smash here and around the world. Being peppered by the projectiles is Maho. The big body getting taken off of the top is Yaura. On again the shortest ceiling in this competitive stageless Pokemon Stadium 2. Bound to play into the hands of Maho, the DK extraordinaire. And Yaura going to take out Maho as a I mean, you could say revenge, I suppose, but really, you just don't want Mao to get up into those higher percentages, do you? The rage that can build up, the absolute ferocity of these attacks, these stray hits, are something that Dark Samus simply does not want to eat. And right off of the side, as much as the low ceiling is a benefit, so too are those narrow blast zones. And you have just enough muscle to get DK off of the side and the game plan with which to execute. Oh my goodness, yeah. You know, getting pistol whipped by the blaster is good enough to do it. Turns out Giant Punch is as well. Who'da thunk? Giant Punch yet again, so nice he had to do it twice. Maho. You already know what it is. You know, it is a fun full name to say, and it is a fun character to cast. What can I say, folks? I love me some DK. And I love me some Maho. Deal with it. We're going to get up here, and Yaura trying to bait Maho into some rough interactions here, but yeah, simply not approaching, letting Yaura jump in maybe a little ill-advised, realizing that you got to take that risk eventually. The parries are on point. Really just seems like Yaura's trying to muscle into Maho's territory here. Oh, but the quick little blaster ball, the neutral B. Charge shot gets the job done, and that is going to be a 1-0 lead for Yaura. What's interesting is, like, you know that you're not wanting to jump into DK's space, but you know that DK is, you are able to sort of play a little bit of bully ball with DK, which sounds counterintuitive, but again, like, if you're just getting hit with bombs, you're being immobilized. So those down B bombs can absolutely disable you if you're Donkey Kong. So you can threaten with that as like, hey, this sets up the rest of my combos, and I can kill you pretty quickly from here on in. A lot of those kills were gotten from not too far of a distance, so you can bully the DK out of position just a little bit, and you're seeing that here. But Maho, you already know, man. This DK is not one to give up. Whatever you think about the matchup chart, this is someone who just does not care. One lick about it is going to fight you no matter what. Continuing on with the fight here. And still, I mean, this is someone who is just... DK has gotten, at the very least, a second place finish at an A tier. And it was at the hands, in fact, of Maho. It's a 3-1 lead that is being accumulated here, and Yaura simply looking for answers against Maho, answers that are not as forthcoming on small battlefield, it turns out. Back airs, consistently. Goodness gracious, the range on them. DK is absolutely terrifying in that regard. The boom, looking for the clap, you would think, but Yaura simply not giving up the ghost in that front. There's going to be the grounded up B off of the side that is going to take it. Beautiful stuff from Maho. And in case you were curious, no, this DK has gotten a second place finish at an A tier. It was this time last year. April 29th was the date of this tournament. It was the second edition of O by Tody. And yeah, that was a second place finish by Maho, finishing second only, and I kid you not, to Meister, whom he now outranks, supposedly, in the global rankings. So, yeah, that's something to behold. And for the record, Maho went a combination of characters in that tournament, has dedicated himself solely to DK throughout the day today with just a touch of me brawler. But, oh my goodness, Yaura got his hands full with just the DK. Put your hands together if you want to clap, chat. This DK is something special. But yes, a second place finish this time last year. I don't know, something about Maho in the month of April. The man just comes alive. Got wins on that tournament over Raki, Candle, and Rarikus twice. So, yeah, nothing to shake a stick at. At the very least, a runner-up at an A tier. Couple of fifth place finishes at Sumobato's and Delta's debut and a 3-1 stock lead here in game 3 of Losers Finals. Yaura searching for these answers, and it seems as if this stage counter pick is not working out so well. Finally gets the charge shot point blank to get the KO. Yaura none too pleased with how that played out and is now putting the pedal to the metal. Oh, these trades are uneven, my guy. Mild was just praying for the jump. It's like, at the very least, let me get the clip. And there we go. That is Maho taking him off the top. And Yaura is absolutely flummoxed as to what to do against this Donkey Kong. Like, what are you to do? What is the play here if you are Yaura? You know you don't want to box. That is the absolute last thing you want to do against this Donkey Kong. But, I mean, at range, can punish you as well. Has been utilizing down Bs for, just so well. What can you say against Maho? It's just every time you think you have the answers, this DK changes the question, and that giant punch turning question marks into exclamation points all night long. And Shinagawa is feeling the presence of Maho today. Yaura, 2 stocks away from elimination at the hands of the finest DK in Japan. That's another big punch. Just having a little fun with the English language, folks. What can I say? And now, the charge shots. Switching over to regular Samus as well. Differences can be parsed all we want, but hey, just a little bit more punch. If that's all you need, then that's what you need. Just a little bit more sustainability against these big hits. Oh, and yet another big punch. Oh, my charge shot hits just a little bit straighter than yours, so says Maho. And now the charge yet again, just trying to wind it up. Oh, that's a good back air there. And Yaura making this a little bit of a contest. Again, took game 1. Yaura not doing too badly in that sense at all, but the character switch, bomb jumps, helping him to just float just a little bit. And again, you know that the DK does not really want to interact with the bombs at all. You can make him play around that. Jumps up from the ledge. Give him just a little bit of space. But the back air is just too powerful, too rangy, too dangerous. And now we are at a last stock situation, and Maho, with just an ever so slight lead, and it is growing with every swing of the fist. Maho on the cusp of qualification to grand finals. So close in that last set, but ran out of gas in game 5 against Ken. Can he get the shot at revenge? Will Yaura be able to deny him at the death? Here in this game 4, we have 4 minutes to go. No way you can time him out. Maho, just a little too motivated. Do you have the room to recover, Yaura? Yes, you do, but goodness me, did Maho go out deep for that? The uppy swinging away, and Maho, my goodness, that is a 3-1 victory to write home about, and DK's best finish at a major is equaled here in Shinagawa, Tokyo by Maho, doing exactly the same as he did at Tody, and now here at Gen 4.0, Maho. A second place finish is guaranteed, and now potentially at the expense of Ken. He could do one better. But folks, before we get into this grand final set, I'd like to thank you all for joining us here at twitch.tv/VGBootcamp, your home for the best Smash that the world has to offer in the States and certainly abroad. The VGBC Japan crew has been absolutely amazing to work with, and it is my pleasure to stay up all through the night on this beautiful Saturday morning in the Central Time Zone in the United States. I am Stu, the announcer. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, happily, but my adopted home of Texas. Very happy to wake up my neighbors by yelling at video games, and I hope that you've been enjoying it. And if you have, I have to say this is not a solo effort. I have too many people that make me look and sound good to let that go unacknowledged, especially at VGBC Japan. People like Watch, who is the producer of this stream, Sean from Somewhere, who's done so much to organize things, bridging the East and the West, and Naru as well. I mean, gosh, man, like, this crew is fantastic, and they deserve your support. So how can you support them? Folks, hit that purple heart to follow. Subscribe if you're so inclined. Hey, if you think it's time, drop that prime. Anything that you can do to support VG Bootcamp is more than appreciated. Ain't that right, fellas? They can't hear me. But yeah, hey guys, we've got even more stuff going on later on in the day. I know that you're up and you can't really sleep and you're chilling out with us. You're watching some Smash. We definitely appreciate you for doing so. But hey, maybe you're up later on in the day, or it's or later on in the evening, I guess, in Europe, because I was just over in England this past month, so I definitely know the time differences there. It's approaching. It's got to be breakfast time over there. So yeah, how you doing? Premiership Saturday going on. Let's see if Tottenham gets relegated. But yeah, folks, we appreciate y'all eating your breakfast and watching us. Hey, if you want to tune in a little later on, we got Level Up Expo coming in live from Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Full House Melee happening this weekend too. It's a great day to be Melee head, and really, it's a great day to enjoy some Smash, enjoy some time with the company, enjoy some time with your people. Because I will tell you right now, there's a lot of division going on here. In the United States. Just I wish that it didn't, but so it is. And we need love now. We need unity more than ever. And if Smash is one of the things that unites us, that is all the better. So folks, we got ourselves a party here at Gen 4.0. Welcome to Grand Finals here at Gen 4.0, /twitch.tv/VGBootcamp. It's Ken versus Maho, Sonic versus DK, Hollow Bastion for game number 1. And again, Ken taking advantage of the big body, the big target that Donkey Kong puts on offer. You want to jump up in front of me? That's perfectly fine. I've worked on I can work heavy bag. Oh, but Mild Ho simply saying, you're more of a speed bag, buddy. Let me show you how. Let me show you what I do to those. And that is going to be first blood drawn by Mild Ho, and that is the big equalizer, isn't it? Just keep yourself on stage, and oh my. You know, the fact that this matchup chart is so heavily Sonic, it makes it a small miracle that Mod was able to take it to 5 games to begin with in the winners final set. Rather 4 games. You didn't even get the single victory, right? But yeah, that is it was a 3-1 victory. I will say the win against Ken, there were mistakes made by Ken. I will absolutely say that and attest to that. But nonetheless, that's if you're doing that as you're earning every bit of it. Goodness gracious, the giant punch finding the mark. Mild Ho is absolutely insane and will be drawn up by Ken. But holy smokes, Mild Ho is an absolute showman, and you gotta love it. It's a global affair here, especially a week out from Kagaribi. We've had European representation in the bracket. We've got international representation in the chat. You already know. Appreciate yous. And swatting him away from ledge. Get out my face. So says Mild Ho, and the headbutt is going to take him out. That is going to be a game 1 victory for the Donkey Kong. And what an absolute maelstrom of emotion for Mild Ho going up against the person that disposed of him in this bracket. Does have a victory against him. In fact, has a winning record against him, even including that last set that he played against Ken. Mild Ho has a 4-3 winning record on Ken all time. They've played 7 competitive sets. The last one was Ken's 3rd victory against the man. So, and they do tend to go back and forth. I mean, it's always a contentious affair. The last 5 sets that they have played have gone 5 games. So we're going to see now these forward tilts giving Ken an absolute headache. Apparently giving me a headache as well. Just lost control of the English language. Will Ken lose control of this match? However, the range of Mild Ho just a little too much to deal with at present. On Town and City. No, that's flat ground for a long time. Looking for the giant punch. Mild Ho missing on that one. Still gotta like it just for the simple statement of intent, right? Gotta show that you're not gonna be There have been a few instances where Mild has not gotten the splash screen on these hits. Like, people are just so desperate to get out of the reaches of this Donkey Kong that they're just holding up. They do not want to get headbutt, and fate is telling them that you're taking this whether you like it or not. Catches him at the ledge again. Good reading of Ken's recovery habits. And Ken does not make himself vulnerable like that all too often, but Mild Ho has just been done such a good job of catching it out. 2 stocks apiece now after Ken evens it up. And again, this is an individual, Ken, who's looking to recover from an uncharacteristic finish at Delta last week, finishing in 9th place. Well outside of the expectation, I would think, for a Sonic of his stature. A win here would do wonders for him leading into Kagaribi. That journey to Chiba this time next week will be just a little bit sweeter, I would imagine. The cargo throw chucks him. Looking like Francisco Mendoza out there. Shout out. And the silver-coated gorilla going to go along with that one, and a giant punch to boot. That is a 2-stock-to-1 lead. And I know it says triple digits, but goodness gracious, does Maho have a tendency to just hang on to these things? I mean, we have seen Maho live, I think, up to like 170, 180% over the course of this night. Oh, and that was techable. No, buddy, Ken. That is the second time, because there was an instance in Winner's Final where Maho caught him at the caught him under the stage as well. It was one of the instances that really let Mild get their bearings in this one. I think it was the game that Maho took. I want to say it was game 2. I'm not sure, but yeah, caught him under the stage, and it let Maho get a little bit of confidence in him, and then checks him under the stage later on in the game with the back air. Green light flashes. Ken wasn't ready on the shoulder button, so yet again it happens. Maho with the audacity, the absolute temerity to tech check a top 25 player in the world. And both times, Ken was not ready on it. So it does make you wonder if Maho has taken up a space, a residency inside of the head of this top 25 player in the world. We do believe that this is an A tier, yes, to confirm. And again, like already equaling the best finish of a Donkey Kong at an A tier from the second place finish a year ago at Tody. However, Ken looking to keep that well in place. It's like, you know what? I think we know where. I think you're looking at this tier list upside down, buddy. Here, let me show you how it's supposed to go. And Ken on Town and City looking a little bit more at home, though still getting caught by the sheer sweeping range of Donkey Kong's arms. You're on the Omega mode for about 50% of the time. But Maho, one game away from resetting the bracket, certainly that cannot be ignored. I got you. Oh my goodness, Ken going where Eagles dare. Gonna be rewarded with a back throw, however. Full stock lead now for the Sonic. And again, this is someone who you know that you're going to have to deal with Sonics all throughout contention next week, as we get Ken taking 2 stocks before ever seeding 1. Full lead for Ken going into this game 3. Mild can close out this set and reset the bracket. But Ken does not want to do that. 3 victories mean a win, mean a tournament first place finish for Ken. Does not want to get it to a reset. However, you are learning quite a bit about Mild's tendencies throughout the time here. So it makes you wonder if this is just because Ken, look, this is a smart player, knows how to control the pace of a game, can put the pedal to the metal and then slam the brake. And you tell me what that does to an opponent's head. You're slapping it on the dashboard, buddy. Maho looking for the answer here, sitting at 160%, is just going to give that one up. Forward air running off of the ledge, and that is going to be a game 1 victory. Game 3 victory, excuse me. That is no, games 1 and 2 went firmly to the Donkey Kong. Not sentences you're probably used to hearing, especially in the context of Sonic, right? But it was in fact Ken that needed the pick-me-up here. Lo and behold, Ken is off the floor and on the board.
まずはケン選手が1本取り返しますが、いまだにリセットまでリーチをかけているのはマイルドな H 選手。掴んで上、空中へ 31%。これは横スマッシュで。
Oh, looking for the clap.
空中へ追いし
And yeah, we have seen Mild catch the shenanigans at the ledge prior, but Ken seems to be wise to that. So just looking for it. It's all well and good, but no, Ken wasting no time. If I have you in a position of disadvantage, I can't be playing with my food here, man. I need to finish that entire plate. But here we go now. Mild. Finally in a position of advantage, letting Ken get back to the stage, just using it to charge up, but the forward are the big swinging fists. Goodness me, and a cargo throw to boot. Gotta love what you're seeing here. If you are if you're a Donkey Kong enjoyer, if you're a monkey enjoyer, folks, type as such in the chat. We love us some monkey. Then again, hedgehogs. Oh, you know, what can I say? I'm a Sonic apologist. I'll let that personal opinion slip. And that headbutt, goodness gracious, from go to KO in what felt like had to be under 30 seconds. I wasn't keeping an eye on the timer. But goodness gracious me, Maho. That ain't mild at all. That was looking like a packet of Diablo. Goodness gracious. Going a little past the ledge. And getting popped for it, but again, this DK can live to some quite large percentages. Back airs, a series of them, a flurry. How's the floor? Just continuing on, and the cargo throw yet again, chucking it almost out the lane. Oh my goodness. Ken just trying to pepper on the damage. DK in disadvantage. Oh, what a tragic way to lose this. If you're Maho, you lost the ledge and you lost the game. And that is the trouble, is it not? When you're a Donkey Kong, that's the price you pay. You are so good on flat ground. And then you get onto any other any other time and you are just in a rough spot. And now we are going all the way to a game 5. What does Maho have left? What can he prove to Ken that Ken has not already seen? And just like that, 8 seconds in, piling on 41 percentage points, you know that Maho can make that up in terms of damage. Just a matter of how much are you willing to press the incentive against Ken, a Sonic with such experience, such tact, such wherewithal, someone who can bait you into mistakes so easily and just as quickly punish you.
まあ下下ズレンダーはね、やっぱスピンを止める上では優秀なんでしょうね。これ結構。この展開まあほかほかが溜まっているならば、ドンキーコング側の撃墜は逆に近くなっていく。
And here we go. Taking him off the stage, and Maho, to his credit, not falling as hard for that one. But we know how troublesome it can be. We know the potential problems that arise when you let characters like this get ahead of steam, right? But
ジャンプするなら空中まで行くよと。まずはケン選手がストックリードを取ってきます。ただ 97%。
What else is there to be done? You have no other way to go except forward, and you have to get that. Oh, you're so generous with the KOs. before off of the headbutt. Just not getting them as easily now. The luxuries of surprise not as forthcoming when you get to a game 5. He's got to knuck up and do it. The throw, headbutt. Yeah, that's a quick 28%. And again, I know I've said this before, but it bears repeating. If you have a lead against a heavy, no, you don't. We know just how dangerous and volatile characters like DK and Bowser can be. Certainly, those of you from New Jersey know how dangerous King Dedede can get. But Ken says there is no danger quite like speed. And now, Ken, one stock away from taking home Gen 4.0. And the reverse 3-0 could come online. Again, the last 5 sets of these gentlemen's play has gone to 5 games. Can Maho reverse the trend here? Or is Ken simply... Has the download been completed? Are you just running Sonic.exe up in this piece? Don't Google that. Dash attacks. The Foxtrots just catching Maho out, but Maho going out to the outer limits. And now it's Maho. It's Ken. Last stock, last game. Either we are done here or the bracket gets reset, and the forward air trying to get Maho into disadvantage. Counteracts with a button. Swats Ken back with the headbutt. That saved him the tournament. And what an effort here for the DK, the Giant Punch! Gets him off stage. And again, he's connecting with everything he needs to, but he needs to get back to stage. Oh, got back to ledge real quick, looking for the stomp. Ken doing so well to time the recovery. Knows how good Maho has been at catching these things out. But it's going to be the forward air that does it. And Ken is going to take Gen 4.0. Maho with a second place finish. She goes the distance. Last stock, last game. Nothing to be ashamed of. But Ken finally confronting a potential bracket demon. Went into this day 4-2 against Maho, and in the space of a couple hours, evens the all-time set count and takes home first place to boot. Ken is your Gen 4.0 champion. And what a set that we had here. I mean, it's just the connections there that we saw. Maho really was trying to pull it back, and what an effort on Ken's part. We're gonna let that winners interview happen with my colleague over in Japan. But goodness gracious me, what a set we just saw. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope that you enjoyed this tournament just as much as I did. And yeah, we saw Maho have to connect basically just 3 quick time events. What can you say? Just got the stomping a little too early, and we saw him kind of setting up for that. Like, we know that Maho liked to catch out those recoveries and got quite a bit of mileage off of offstage interactions, especially under the stage, which, I mean, if you're Donkey Kong and you're doing that, you're brave. But that is going to do it for us. And yeah, Ken winds up going into Kagaribi just a little bit more confident. A first place finish at an A tier. Maho finishing in second and equaling the best finish of a Donkey Kong at an A tier. His own record being tied here today. And a third place finish by Yaura, the Samus, who again just peppers you and makes you ask so many questions of your offense. Yaura certainly has some answers for how well this Samus can do. in deeper
いや本当に
brackets.
おめでとうございます。
Harupoyo,
1週間後ですか？
Steve finishing in fourth place. Definitely a lot of room to grow, but you see the potential and you see just how brutal Steve can be, as we have come to learn, those of us who have watched him Smash. Fifth place tie between Riope, the Snake, and Renoha, I should say, the Mii Brawler, and Daigoro and Dog finish out your top 8 here today. So that is going to do it for our coverage at the very least. My producer has been Watch. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, I am Stu the announcer. So once again, final score in grand finals. It is Ken taking it over Maho by a score of 3-2. I get the feeling that is not going to be the last time we see them. And I hope I see you at Kagaribi 8 days from now in Chiba. Thank you so much for watching, and until we meet again, happy smashing.
お会いしましょう。というわけでお疲れ様でした。